Greetings, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is Untitled Space Game, our Scum and Villainy campaign. I am playing Ben Dyson, also known as Coyle, who is a mechanic, and we're going to go around and say hi to everyone, find out who they are and who they are playing, and we shall go in. I guess we'll go in the usual order. We shall start with Alyssa. Hello.
Hello. I play Gavesha Lutess, also known as Iris, the suspiciously perky space wizard. We both use she/her pronouns, and we aim to misbehave.
Excellent. Good. And now we shall head over to Brittany. Hello.
Hi, I'm Brittany. I use she/her pronouns. I formerly played Dr. Mav Wilo, but unfortunately, thanks to some choice roles last week, I will now be playing the muscle character Buff Tuffman, codename Buff. And Buff uses he/him pronouns.
It's interesting that he chose a code name so similar to his given name. It's very interesting.
It's already the best.
It's easier to remember, one would think. Let's go. And now let us head over to Josh. Hello.
Still recovering from Buff Tuffman. I'm Josh. He/him. I am playing the resident pilot Quirk, the green-skinned, bug-eyed, antennaed alien. Who else uses he/him?
Good.
Oh, and the pilot. That's important.
That too. Also, yes, flying good. We enjoy flying. Flying is helpful. Just as a reminder, this game may contain certain amounts of non-graphic violence, crime, betrayal, oppressive governments, fictional religions, and other related subjects. You can always see that by typing !ScumCW in the chat, and that is also on rotation in the chat, if you so desire. And now we shall go hand things over to our beleaguered GM, Brian. Hello.
Hello. ScumCW is my new spin-off network. We're gonna just start doing nothing but anti-hero shows on that one.
Anti-hero shows in space for young people.
That's it. We're good.
That's how that works.
With
a lot of muttering.
With plenty of relationship drama. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So you have to use the captions so you can see what everyone's saying. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, thankfully we come with them already, so we're good.
Hey, we got them. We're ahead of the game. Our first season is in the can.
Oh, good. That's excellent.
So, hello everybody. I'm Brian. I'm running this thing. I use he/him pronouns. And we have a few bookkeeping things to do, or more to the point, to stick with the Untitled Space Game bit. We have some items to cross off our to-do list.
Yes.
And we've already crossed a few off. Jim has chosen Coyle's next playbook upgrade. Brittany has created Buff Tuffman. We, as a group, need to select the next crew upgrade, crew/ship upgrade. All of those options are on the Greg sheet, which is on Roll20, so you can look over that. And the only thing that is not terribly obvious is, and I have to look it up every time because some things you're allowed to fill in 2 boxes, and some things you're only allowed to fill in 1. So your upgrade may be spent on one new special ability, 2 ship upgrades, and I'll be a little more specific about that in a minute. 1 ship quality, and that is different from upgrades. The quality is that section up at the top where it says hull, weapons, etc. You're maxed out on your hull, but you could still add 1 to your weapons or your comms or your engines. And if you do that, you get to then add a thing under it, if you see what I mean. So you could do 1 special ability, 1 of those things up at the top with comms, engines, or weapons, or you could do 2 ship upgrades. The other thing that you can do is up your entire crew quality, which is currently 0. You can bump it up to 1. That'll cost 4 cred, and the I will tell you, you can do it, but that is actually really more of a move for longer campaigns than we're running. So feel free, but you get more short-term benefits out of any of the other stuff. And to be a little more specific about the ship slash crew upgrades, that is 2 boxes in anything that is under, if you scroll to basically the second page, anything under the crew slash ship upgrades, but also the auxiliary ship gear and crew gear sections. So any 2 of those boxes can be purchased with that one. And let's see. Oh wait, we're on playbook. We need get back to ship mode. Here we are. So to recap, 1 special ability, 1 quality, meaning in this case engines, weapons, or comms. And again, you get a thing underneath that when you bump up that quality rating, or any 2 modules. So, for example, fake ship papers and smuggler's rigging, or lucky charm, which gives you +1 starting gambit. That will cost you 2. Or a brig and false ship papers. Whatever you want to, however you want to make that work.
I'm going to advocate for weapons, so I don't have to consider ramming into.
So that's not your only choice.
Yeah, enemy ships again.
Well, okay, this is Quirk. I can't imagine Quirk's not going to consider ramming, but
it's always on the table. But it's
yeah.
It's not going to be my plan A necessarily.
See, exactly. You want that to be among the options.
Yes.
Oh, and while you're deciding, with every time you get a crew advance, every player character gets 2 stash, and I've already added that to all of your character sheets. So Brittany, I've added that to Mav's sheet since you were Mav at that point. So all of those characters, and also, I mean, I basically consider her to be your primary character. So each of you now has 4 stash, and that's already been added. So you're good to go on that. Again, stash is a long-term thing, and we're not playing quite that many. Actually, not quite. We're not playing anywhere near enough sessions. But if we do decide to bring these characters back, you can still bring those characters back with the stuff that you've gotten and continue on that way. So it's, very much as 2 of the players have already done. So you may continue those characters with new stuff, or more to the point, with the old stuff. So yeah, weapons. Let's look over at weapons and see what the weapons options are. Let's see.
Weapons.
Some weapons are less legal than others, as I recall. Let's see. Here's weapons. Because right now your weapons rating is 0, so you've got plenty of options on that.
So I guess we won't have to deal with the joys of me scrambling around trying to create a quantum wave or things of that nature.
Well, as I said
I'm now
about
going
Cork,
to try to fake a weapon.
as I said about Cork, I can't imagine that's still not gonna happen.
Oh, that's true.
But again, it doesn't have to be your plan A. Okay, so the weapons modules that are open are coherence cannon. It is a capital weapon, 1 shot only until repaired or recharged on ships smaller than dreadnoughts, and yours is big but not a dreadnought size. It could fry systems. It's incredibly deadly and absurdly not legal. There are grappling hooks, which officially are for latching onto asteroids or netting cargo, but they are grappling hooks. They could latch onto pretty much anything that you aim them at. Also, quite legal, and no one would look twice with a ship of your type having grappling hooks. You could have a mining drill, which is it's close range but incredibly high power. It vaporizes rock and could be modified to bore through hulls if you had an engineer that knows what they're doing, which you do. So they are legal unless someone notices that you've modified it to bore through hulls. You could also have missiles, which are exactly what they sound like. Big surprise, not legal. You could also have particle cannons, which are not as powerful as a coherence cannon by any means. Also not legal, but you can use them more than once before they fry your system. More to the point, it just runs off your typical energy. So particle cannons are your sort of standard ship-to-ship lasers. Oh, technically you can have them if you have a license, but that's more of a bounty hunter thing. But you do, as I recall, have you don't have fake ship papers, but you do have, what is it exactly? Let me look. Oh, no, you don't. I thought you did. I thought you had.
We don't actually have a thing that copies transponders, if that's what you're looking for, though.
No, you don't. I thought you did. So,
we have echoed a signal before, but we had to kit bash it to make that work.
Yeah, you totally did. So, as it turns out, you're going to have a hard time making it look like those are legal, but no one really notices you have those weapons until you use them. So they aren't. They don't have to be obvious, like outside the ship looking weapons. So any of those are up for grabs. I just want to let you know what the options are as far as weapons. So what you could do is,
go with weapons? I don't know if we made that final decision.
No, I was just letting you know what giving you some more information to make the choice.
Dig it.
It's funny because it's like if we want to have weapons, it could just easily be a thing where it's not even necessarily we're fitting the ship with these things so much as like we just suddenly discover that the ship has them.
That's entirely possible. Yeah.
So
you figured out you figured out how to activate them.
Yeah. Or maybe the ship didn't have them a little while ago, and suddenly now it does.
Also possible.
That's also a thing.
Greg is like, did you say particle cannons? I think I can do that.
Oh no.
You mean like this? And then an asteroid disappears. So while you're working on that, I also have a couple of things I need to do.
So the potential upgrades, aside from weapons, where can I? Yeah, you don't have to list them all again, but where?
It's all on the sheet. The only reason I listed all of the weapons is the weapons are not on the ship sheet.
Yeah.
So if you bring up the Greg sheet, everything else is either under special abilities or under the cruise ship upgrades, auxiliary and ship gear sections.
Cruise ship upgrades, I've found that.
Yeah, and then the special abilities is on the first page.
I see that.
Yeah, because you already have field repairs and problem solvers.
Ship gear is...
that is underneath cruise ship upgrades.
That is underneath...
Where it says AI module and galley. Okay.
I understand now.
So any two of those boxes in that lower section, or basically any one box on the first page, may be a good way to remember that.
Or above it. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha. I understand now.
Like some of the comms things are in fact listed. For example, fake transponder, quantum encryptor. Obviously, you have a jump drive. Afterburners are an option for your type of ship. And really, if it's not already listed, it just means you will have to specially fit, or as you mentioned before, suddenly discover that you already have those.
Yeah, like I feel like the only weapons are a really good possibility. The only other things I was looking at as a possibility is if we wanted shields so that we can be incredibly even more indestructible.
They have to get through the shields to assault your nearly unbreakable hull.
Or the ships are going to go through them, considering our last ideas for offensive strategy.
I mean,
Looks like we already have shields. If I'm looking at that
there is there's like a little
check there.
There's a hash mark there that under shields that makes
shield.
me curious.
Is it? Let me see.
It might be that the ship just comes with like basic shield thingies, and then you have to buy additional shield thingies.
Or we may have done it when we set this up. It's been a while. So.
That is possible.
On the Greg sheet I'm looking at, shields are unmarked.
It's marked when I'm looking at them.
Really? The one right under galley?
No, this is
No,
up above. This is
under weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that? That's... I don't know
light
what that is.
blue.
Yeah, now, yes, it is. Okay, you're right. It is marked, and I don't know why or what that particular shields thing means. Weird. And that's a quirk of the character sheet, so I don't have any other way to look that up.
Yeah.
So I think that you don't have shields.
Makes sense.
And we've never mentioned that you have shields,
That's
so I
true.
don't think you do. Let's just assume you don't, but I don't know why this mark. You're right though. Yeah, that's where it is. Huh? It could simply have been me accidentally clicking on that when I was doing something else.
It's entirely possible. As I'm looking through these things, these and any possible alternatives, I mean, I still feel like weapons are probably going to be best for us right now, because a bunch of this other stuff we kind of have been tinkering around with is sort of temporary substitute thingies.
Sure.
There is a... What was I looking at? There's a... I mean, there are a couple of possible special abilities that might work out for like the getaway or cargo eye, something like that. But
Sure.
I could go either direction really if we wanted to do like the weapons first.
So if you did get weapons, what are the people that are thinking about weapons leaning towards, like the legal ones or the illegal ones? What are you thinking about?
Legality's ever been a real concern of ours.
Not a big one, no.
I'm a fan of the basic particle cannons.
It is cool, and as we've established, your ship has like at least some manner of reconfiguring itself, meaning like the particle cannons wouldn't show up until you were firing them, or until right before you fired them, which not only is safer for you, it would look really cool. So,
unless we want like an armory or something, I don't know.
I have a feeling Brittany's new character is your armory.
That's
fair.
So we just
He brings his own.
but it's like not terribly useful for firing ship to ship unless we're like leaning out and like
That's
I don't think we're going to emulate gangster movies quite to that degree. So
not just yet.
not just yet. So yeah.
So that'd be pretty funny.
What does everybody else think?
I remember hearing grappling hook mentioned. Was that under?
That's under weapons,
Okay.
and they can be used offensively.
Hmm.
You just have to be slightly creative about them.
I feel like grappling hook would be a very weird weapon to have, and I feel like we are weird.
I mean, yeah.
But the particle cannon also sounds appealing in its discreet nature.
Yeah. Nice and simple. Everybody understands particle cannons.
I mean, it's not difficult to turn a grappling hook into a weapon. It just depends on how you what you
you're
put
right.
on it.
We do know where the space dragons are too, so we could just theoretically grapple someone and
Oh my god!
Yeet.
Yeah. It's time
I wanna see
you
what
met
it
the
is.
space dragon. Yeah. Check out the space dragon.
It's important.
All right. All right. Well, while you're doing that, I also need to look up another thing. So
I almost feel like the ship, if it had a weapon native to it, would be a weird weapon, but I don't know.
well, we could honestly we could take any of those and weird it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's fair.
like the particle cannons don't have to be traditional particle cannons. They can just have the effect of a particle cannon, and you could decide like we could go ahead and mark particle cannons, and then like when it comes time for you to start firing and stuff, we can figure out what weird thing it does. So I'm all for that. I will never say no to coming up with a weird use of any of this.
Why do our cannons fire dark matter? I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
We could do missiles and have them like grow from the ship like pomegranate pods.
Greg has to sneeze every time we fire a weapon.
Also possible. Any of that works. Okay.
Some variant on the mind. I mean, and now I'm just sort of looking at all of these. I'm like, any of these could work.
Well, yeah, honestly, that's kind of the point of all of this, is that it's a plethora of really good choices. And, I'm not going to punish you for what you pick. If you don't pick particle cannons, I'm not going to put you in a situation where, would have been great if you had a particle cannon. So, I mean, you might be in that situation, but it won't be because of that. So,
most situations can be made more enjoyable by a particle cannon, though, to be fair.
You're not wrong. Yeah. Well, as Josh pointed out, if nothing else, it makes ramming plan B.
That's fair.
Okay.
Alyssa, what do you think? Alyssa, tell us what to do. What do you think?
Let's do.
What do your visions tell us about the crew upgrade?
Should I roll for that?
Given the way things have been going, that's not a bad idea. All right. All right. It doesn't sound like anybody has any strong objections to particle cannons. Do we just want to say particle cannons for now?
Good with that?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
All right. Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Let me get over here. I'll go ahead and update the sheet then. And while I'm doing that, we also need to figure out what is happening with the dark hyperspace investigation. So Coil and Gavesha were leading that, but pretty much anyone can chime in. But I do want to start with Coil, since you were the one that really started it. What specifically, or not even specifically, what generally were you trying to learn or do with that? Now that it's complete, we need to figure out, at least in general, what you've learned or what it's pointing you towards.
Is there another place out there, not on our maps, out there either in or accessible through dark hyperspace, possibly where people could live?
Ah.
That was kind of what Coil had going on in his head.
Okay. Well, in that case,
because there's this whole search for a homeland type thing that's going on.
Understood.
That was largely a religious thing. Coil doesn't necessarily believe in that as much these days,
right?
But is also curious if there's something out there.
But you know what your family was looking for.
Yes.
So the why is less important than the if. So we can figure out how you know this from your research later, but I will tell you, and keep in mind that Gavesha's latest efforts in helping you figure this out were instrumental in discovering, in answering your question. So the answer is an unqualified yes. It's not theoretical. You are certain that the answer is yes. And not only is the answer yes, you are certain that the answer is yes and more than one.
Oh boy.
and we can figure out how you know this from your research. We don't have to go into detail now, but I will tell you that you've got that. And as it comes up, when you come up with an important, when it's important for you to mention how you've discovered that, and again, this goes for everyone. Hey, when we were doing that, we learned this thing. You can throw that in. You can throw it in as a flashback. You can throw it into something you just now know. You can connect it to something that shows up during any point of the game. Yeah, you have actual evidence that the answer is yes. And we can figure out how exactly what you and Gavesha did to figure all of that out. So that's that part. I did roll for entanglements, and nothing obvious to you happened because of it, but it is something that is likely to show up later. So I'll just let you know a thing might happen later because of the antics you guys have been up to. So the only thing that remains now is for Buff to introduce himself to you in some manner, and for Mav to. And this could have happened off camera, but yeah, Mav basically breaks the news that she's going to be here for a while. She's now under contract with the Space Pirates. On the plus side, you're Mav's getting paid, so.
Pirates have contracts?
Yes.
Pirates are very good about contracts.
Yeah.
I do
something
think
new.
that information.
That's how privateers happen.
I think that information would have just come with a text that says, "Oops, see you next week," and no
That'll
further
do.
explanation.
Right. So how do we want to introduce Buff to the party? Because everyone is still in the Cove, which is the pirate hangout. The extremely expansive pirate hangout. The collection of ships that is the size of a couple of large cities.
Is Buff a pirate?
That's a good question. Is Buff from here, or is Buff passing through here? Tell us about Buff.
I don't think Buff even knows about Buff. How can you truly know an enigma?
Is Buff just is?
Buff is
that,
here,
Okay,
and that's what's important.
that's the good thing. Gotcha.
But I do imagine that he would have either, spoken to some strange psychologist at a bar and realized that he needed a new direction in life. And
I like
sort
that
of
angle.
looked at seen who was leaving next and saw the ship leaving and might have realized that they were down a crew member or so, and just sort of as with where he comes from, Buff is just suddenly kind of there. He's here.
Well, I will tell you that currently the most obvious member of the crew is Quirk, because he will not quit talking about your last job. So,
yeah, it sounded good. It sounded good. Buff overheard that. He had some great therapy and kind of put two and two together.
Yeah, does Quirk sound like Buff's kind of people? Is that okay? Well, if nothing else, the two of you would have connected.
Oh, I guess Buff's coming with us. All right, come on, Buff.
With your pet pirate.
Yep. And along with that, we know what Gavesha has been up to in general, basically hanging out in the pirate library, which, by the way, is awesome, and does, in fact, have a pirate librarian. There is a pirate that runs the library, and she is extremely proud of all of the books that she has acquired, by whatever manner they were acquired. And many of the books, actually, it's more the information she has acquired, but she also has some books. It's not the largest collection of books you've seen, given your background, but it's probably in the top 10.
Yeah, Kavesha has probably just been in some corner of this library with like just like a flock of books circling around her now that she's learned kinetics.
Oh, even
She's
better.
just
Good.
like
Good.
got
Good.
a
Good.
whole bunch of them open.
I love that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's like a Disney movie.
Yeah, it's like, or like, you know, when Yoda is teaching Luke to levitate rocks, only it's books.
It's books. Very good. Okay. Um, so yeah, the librarian and her staff have gotten to know you. They think you're pretty cool because not everybody appreciates the dead tree books the way you do. You can tell some of them they keep them in they're in good shape, but you can tell some of them have not been touched in years. Some of them may not have been. You may be the first person to have opened them since they arrived here.
Nice.
So yeah, you're getting all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, so I'll get back to you on that one. Coil, you have been, as I recall, prowling around the station because this is also it's not a junkyard, but it's pretty close, and it's got a section. It's got a shipyard with an associated parts storage area, which is actually just a whole bunch of ships that are floating in an area between all of the other ships that are maintained with magnetic stasis fields. Meaning, like if you put on a suit, you can hop from ship to ship and get whatever parts you need. You have been given permission to look around. You have not been given permission to literally take anything you see. However, they are willing to trade, and you've got stuff to trade. So we can assume that you've already classified some of the smaller stuff that you took off that other ship, and you've got your own store of stuff that you've just got surplus of or whatever. So if there's anything that you're looking for, you've got. And this may be the reason that you're leaving the cove with your new special ability, because it's specifically junkyard related, as I recall. So this experience might literally be how you've managed to refine that, because they've got cool stuff, and you got to talk shop with some other junkers, so that was cool. So, while all of you are here, are any of you specifically looking for your next job, or are you just chilling out and enjoying your downtime?
I'm indulging my vice. I'm thinking it's far from my mind.
I think you're right. Okay, good point. All right.
Buff is busy following the neat little green man home.
Fair enough. Okay.
And I'm sure Mav would have done something along those lines, but she gone.
Yeah. Mav might have heard about all kinds of jobs, but she'll have to tell the crew about them later. Although it's not impossible that Mav might have directed someone to the crew if she thought that they might be able to benefit from it. So, but what will be really good for your self-esteem? Go talk to that guy and mention to him that you're looking for this thing.
She might be too apathetic for that.
She might be at this point. Yeah, you're right. So, Gavesha, similarly, I'm not going to speak for you, but you similarly might just be too involved in your new cool stuff. But if not, you never know.
Well, I am not overindulging. I'm just really excited.
You're not overindulging. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you're keeping your ears open. Actually, that's a good point. In that case, I think maybe the librarian's staff might have turned you on to something, because they see how into this stuff you are. They might have put you on the trail of something that they want.
Could be.
Because all of you are in really, really good, like, the Maelstrom, which is the pirate organization, they like you a lot. I mean, a whole lot. They're on the verge of liking you even more. They've heard, how well you did for them on the last couple of jobs. So how about that? How about the librarian staff is like, we heard about this thing, and you seem like the kind of people that might want to go get it for us.
We're good at finding things.
You certainly are. Okay. So in that case, what they have heard of is it's actually right up your alley, Gavesha. It is a pair of old books.
Ooh.
They these books are historical items in and of themselves, just because of how old they are, how far back they go, who wrote them, that kind of thing. But on top of that, they also contain a great deal of historical information because of how long ago they were written, meaning that they have eyewitness accounts of things that, first off, from a historian's point of view, would just be cool to know, and from a pirate's point of view, might, in fact, unlock the paths to certain more tangible benefits. They start off being kind of cagey about it, but then after a while, you're all just kind of talking. And
geeking out about books.
Totally. Yeah. So the books are in the possession of the governor's third son. They are only in his possession because he was granted the a certain patch of land that contains a manor house, which has a library in which these things have historically been displayed. And they think that those books could be put to better use if they had them, instead of just sitting around in some rich guy's house.
Well, I agree.
He doesn't even know what he has, which actually might be good.
Well,
so if someone, say, were to show up with those, I'm sure they'd be safe here. And that someone could come read them anytime she wanted.
Well, someone should see if she can get her hands on those books.
Also, if someone had those books, I suppose some organization would be inclined to purchase them from that person. Perhaps an organization that has a whole lot of money.
Perhaps.
I mean, us, our pirates. We have a lot of money. We're pirates. We're extremely rich.
I'm sure there are a lot of organizations that would like to purchase those books, but if I find them, they'll be the first to know.
That's good.
Well, I guess I better find my crew. I haven't seen them in a while.
It's been a few days. That's true.
All right.
You probably know where to find Quirk. Coil's going to be harder to find right now. This is a big place, and Coil is, who knows? Coil is all over it.
Well, I'll just go back to the ship and find Spencer. And if Spencer's not there...
Oh my gosh, that's true. As I recall, you left Spencer on the ship, didn't you?
I think...
Initially.
I did
leave
Spencer on the ship.
You may have brought Spencer with you, but initially Spencer was on the ship. Yeah.
I did leave Spencer on the ship because there is still that concern. Because Spencer can also start the engines if we need to, if need be. Hopefully,
Spencer can definitely do that.
Yeah, just in case, because Coyle still has a little bit of concern, from various things about the people with whom they are working. Though he is somewhat swayed by the glorious junkyard with which he has been presented. So I mean that helps. But that also does not really change the fact that they're still these people are still trying to hunt down Arlo and Zaid. So
yeah, true.
it's kind of a thing where it's just like
fair point.
Also, I don't think Coyle has recovered from the time that someone tried to strap explosives to Spencer.
Yes. Well, thankfully it was to the other drone. It was to the one that is lost now.
Yeah.
He never gave a name.
And lost in a different manner, as it turns
Yes,
out.
but he did have that concern that Spencer wasn't going to be far behind.
Yes.
That, so it's like, on the one hand, it's like, am I that worried? And so he's doing some soul searching, because he's always by habit thought of himself as a good person.
Right.
So he kind of is.
So anyway, I'll just tell Spencer to send Coyle a message, and then Coyle will wander back with his pockets full of things, and then we can go find some stuff.
That's a good point. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Getting a message to Coyle is actually pretty easy. Finding him is damn near impossible. So you're right. Okay. So is everybody eventually together for discussion about the whether or not you want to go on the quest for books?
Hey guys, this is Buff Strongman. He's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool.
I think we have a valuable addition, at least for a little while.
This hulking marble statue of a man just says, it's Buff Tuffman.
So you're the one we're going to need to get to help us literally drag our doctor out of the wherever she is, whenever she's done.
No.
Okay, fair.
Greg
You want a
says-
job?
He says a lot with very few words. I appreciate the
It's true.
efficiency.
Yeah.
Greg says, I've read her contract. It's thorough.
Well, we need to go to the governor's third son's mansion and steal some books.
That sounds like a bad idea. I'm in.
I like this guy.
See, Buff's definitely your kind of people. That works.
Coyle is now looking strangely from Iris to Buff, and is just sort of looking back and forth, and is for a moment, and is like, and he just sort of is like, just kind of quietly is going to look back at Buff and is be like, so I take it this is something that the Maelstrom has specific interest in.
Yeah, the librarians asked me to look into something for them.
So the two books together make a thing that is called the Gemini Codex.
I have no idea what it is, but it sounds really cool.
It's an ominous name.
I see. Just sort of glancing over at Iris for a second. and is looking back over his sort of just looks back and forth at everyone for a few seconds, still a little sort of like, hey, can I borrow you for a second? Just sort of pointing at Iris.
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. Sorry, I just need you to. There's something I just from the thing just wanted you to look at real quick. It'll just be a second.
Anytime.
He will go out of the room.
She will follow.
Okay. We'll close the door. Just make sure everything is shut off so that communication-wise, so that people can't hear us. Greg, please don't repeat any of what I'm about to say to our new crew member, because there's no getting away from Greg in this place. Listen, why? Are you sure this is going to be? I get the feeling this is going to be something that's perhaps slightly more dangerous than normal, but are you not getting any flashbacks here by the fact that they're sending along an observer? Doyle is entirely wrong, by the way, out of character, I'm quite sure. But
right,
this is,
exactly.
This is his reaction. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are you not the least bit worried about this?
I don't think anybody sent him. Well, the librarians didn't send him. He just followed Quirk home.
Right. I mean, that is slightly more clever than what happened than what they did to us last time, but I'm still, it's still, I just want to make sure that
Greg
we're not
says,
going to.
What did they do last time?
So, long story short, while back, the Maelstrom hired our previous crew, for a mission, and we carried out the mission. They kind of expected us to fail the mission, but we got the thing, we brought it back, and then they double-crossed us, and they kind of started hunting us down after that. And then later they just decided to focus more on, well, really mostly on Arlo. I think Zaid also got sort of pulled into it, but they didn't seem to mind us anymore after we kind of switched crews.
Are those the reckless maniacs you keep mentioning?
Yeah, a little bit.
Noted.
But
That's the ones.
I
Filed
mean,
under
they
reckless
had
maniacs.
they had their own. They had anyway. I mean, they're not bad people, but
I mean, they're not entirely good people either. But who is?
That guy you used to see on those billboards and those ads all the time? That was one of them. But anyway, the thing is that I'm just a little concerned that maybe either. I mean, best case scenario here, best case scenario, it's a coincidence and it's fine. But we should really keep an eye on this guy, because I don't want to have to be sort of out there doing something and then suddenly find a hole blasted in the back of my head.
Ben?
After we're done getting the books.
Ben? What's my call sign?
Your call sign is Iris.
Keeping an eye on people is literally what I do.
This is true.
It'll be fine. You remember how long it took you to warm up to me?
I do. Well, look, I mean, it's one of those things when you're used to being when you're brought up to be very open with everybody and very trusting, and then you learn that that's not the case. When they then kind of all turn on the people you were supposed to be warm and trusting toward, then immediately all turn on you, and then you kind of find out the universe isn't like that. It's rough.
I know.
Greg says, maybe you should talk to Mav about that. Oh,
yeah.
wait.
Yeah, we were gonna at some point, we just haven't gotten around to it. But so yeah, I mean that
I know.
Yeah, no, I remember. I remember it took a while.
I trained with the Cult of the Seekers, remember?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. I know you've got us. You've got us on
We
this.
almost had some trouble with them last time, too.
Well, I mean, that's probably just for okay, look, the Luminescent aren't exactly on great terms with the Seekers, so it's we kind of had ever since some kind there was that revisionist incident that happened like about 100 years back. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's so I kind of so part of that was the trauma and part of that was dogma. Sorry, I already said sorry a while ago. But yeah, no, I get you. I get you.
I get it. But Coil, I've got your back.
I know. That's probably how he got out the last time. Thank you. But yeah, I'm just I'm just saying, keep the. I know you will always keep the eyes open, but this may be a case to keep the eyes open.
I promise.
It's all I'm saying. I'm just saying it's an interesting coincidence if that's all it is. That's all I'm saying. But if you feel like it's okay, then I think it's going to be okay.
I will watch him like a hawk.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I do want to say that during that whole conversation, Buff Tuffman is just sort of in the background, and he has found a string on one of his sleeves that has come loose. And he is just trying to slowly pull this string, and there is now just a growing hole in one of his sleeves.
I mean, I could scan him if you want, but I really don't think we have to worry about much.
That was doing a lot of heavy lifting. That was good.
Glancing out through the glass and in the door separating us, and sort of seeing the thing with the sleeve, and I'm like, yeah, probably not.
The string has now broken, and he is doing this sort of awkward, like, he's trying to find a trash can and is just kind of walking back and forth because there is not one immediately visible.
Oh, okay. Oh, crap. I think you might need help. Okay. Yeah, let's... Yeah.
All right. So you are all once again in the same place?
Yes.
So...
Hey, buddy, just ask Greg where the disposal is. You're good. You're good.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you guys, this buff guy, he is just like the archetypical human, right?
Oh,
and
totally.
I think human. I think this guy right here. Got all your qualities amped to the max. It's great.
Absolutely.
No middle sliders.
Nope. Yeah, everything's...
This is the default template for humanity.
Pull this way. So eventually, yes, Greg leads you towards a slot in which you may insert the string. So, due to a combination of stuff the librarians have told you, Gavesha, and things that all of you have been able to look up or get from contacts that you know or whatever, the basics of this are that, first off, not a lot of people talk about the Gemini Codex because not a lot of people have heard of it. But of those who have, they do talk about it in reverential tones. Sure enough, it was written long ago, and there are competing theories about exactly who wrote it. There are even more competing theories about why. Not all of it has been translated yet, but the parts that have led to some amazing discoveries. It is currently has been for quite some time, on display, as mentioned earlier, at the governor's son's house. He is his name is Victor, and he has been given hegemonic domain over the planet of Mem, which is in the Holt system. Mem is interesting for several reasons. It's an ocean planet. It was colonized by the hegemony, and then aquatic xenos made themselves known by basically coming up from the depths. And there was a long, brutal war on that planet for quite some time. Eventually, hegemonic forces defeated the Memish military and incorporated them into the hegemony. This all happened well over. This all happened some centuries ago. So the Mem have been members of the hegemony for quite some time. They are able to survive out of the water. They are amphibians. There are as mentioned before, the planet is almost entirely water, almost entirely very deep water. There are rumors of continued rebellions being hidden deep, deep, deep beneath the waves where the hegemony just can't get. Victor, the planetary governor, is convinced daily that there's going to be an uprising, and everything he does is aimed at making sure that that doesn't happen. So he's vigilant, but clearly paranoid. Some of his subordinates have, in fact, vanished. Sometimes he has to replace people, but he hasn't figured out exactly why yet. His house is partly underwater, but mostly it is made of enormous crystal spires that rise above the surface. So because of the nature of the planet, there are significant underwater portions of it, but most of the hegemonic officials live in the above the water sections on the multiple spires that point up out of it. And if it weren't a glaring example of colonialism and hegemonic brutality, it might be kind of pretty with all the crystal spires pointing up out of the water. Objectively, it's an impressive engineering achievement, if nothing else. But somewhere within those crystal spires is Victor's library, and the books do have a historical importance to the MacLeod family. Apparently, they wrested them from someone else a long time ago and have claimed them for centuries.
Is that building like a municipal building as well as his residence, or?
Yes, it does have offices as well as residences.
How open to the public is it generally?
Certain parts of it are quite open. If you have business with the planetary officials.
I didn't know if it was like visiting the Capitol building or something. Or...
Yeah, not really. It's more like some parts of it are more like visiting, say, the IRS or customs.
So not a lot of tourist trade.
Not a lot of tourists in this area. There are tourists all over the planet, though, because it is a beautiful ocean planet. Just not
Yeah,
quite,
but
not quite so many in the governmental section. Although now that I've said that, I mean it is analogous in some ways to Washington D.C. Yes,
yeah,
there are
that's
tourists.
kind of
Yeah. So actually, yeah, you could find tourists there because, as I mentioned before, the buildings are beautiful. Some people go there literally just to marvel at the building.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of points of egress.
Understood.
Or entry.
Yeah. And once we decide the your entry point, etc., or we decide your tack, we can figure out any further things. But yeah, basically anything that you would find, there are. There are hotels here. There are restaurants, both underwater and above. The Memish outnumber the non-Memish still. It's just that most of them keep to themselves very far in the depths. Though there are some Memish, there are some hegemonic officials who are Memish. They're not all humans.
Is it salt water, I presume?
Yeah. I guess it'd have to be. Yeah. So in fact, yeah, that makes sense. It's totally saltwater. How does Quirk do in water? What's Quirk's
I don't think saltwater. I don't think saltwater agrees very much with the Madrach physiology.
Yeah. If they are even a little frog-like, that seems like they seem like more of a freshwater bunch, don't they?
They're vaguely fungal.
Oh, okay. Ooh, even worse.
Yeah, I don't think
Actually,
they.
No, I forgot. You're right. So yeah, not so much. You want a suit if you're going to be in the water. All right. And as we've established before, you guys have vac suits, so you've got suits that will allow you to be underwater. Also, for that matter, Greg can submerge. Greg's big, but he can. The planet's literally an ocean, so you got plenty of space for that to happen as well, if you wish.
Why do I feel like, as we're discussing all of this, Greg just announced to us now that he could submerge?
Yeah, I think that's how it had to happen.
Yeah, we're finding all kinds of things. Yeah.
Right. Oh, underwater? I can go underwater.
Anything can go underwater. Can you survive underwater?
I could even do that.
That's good.
Buff is looking around very confused that the ship is speaking.
Oh, hey, Quirk, I think you're gonna like this. You notice that there's a new sort of trigger control over by the console.
I was noticing that.
Yes.
I was hoping someone would bring it up.
I had a so I got a new sensor module that has a compiler in it that can help me when I'm scanning around the ship looking for precursor tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently we have some kind of weapon.
Yes.
Would have been really useful to know a couple jobs ago.
Well,
but
it wasn't active. There wasn't power getting to it. There's power getting to it now. That's the good news.
Well, there can't possibly be bad news.
Well, I don't exactly know what kind of weapon it is. I don't know what it does. But there are. We've got things like gun ports, and it expels something from them.
Coyle, you're a man of science. You know there's only one way to figure this out.
Yeah. I figured.
Field experimentation, Coyle.
Yeah.
Track around and find out.
So I'm just saying. If you feel like it, may want to shoot up some rocks or something.
I do
when
feel
you get
like
a second. It's looks like we've.
Ooh, is that a rock
something.
That's a pirate ship.
Oh,
yeah. We might want to get out of the dock
We would appreciate if we
just so that we can. Yeah.
take my thumb off.
How about that? Is that a rock? That looks inert. No one will miss that, whatever it
We
is.
want to wait till we get clear of the maelstrom area, but once we're out there, I think it'd be a good idea to perform some tests.
Weirdly stodgy pirates.
They don't want you shooting their stuff. What a bunch of sticks in the butt.
How dare they?
Greg says, I didn't remember I had those.
That's the least surprising thing you could tell me, Greg.
This
I'd
is
like
why.
to figure out exactly how that memory was suppressed. I should remember all of the stuff, yes?
Yeah, it would be a good idea. I mean, that's why we don't know what it is exactly, what kind of gun it's definitely some kind of I think it's a gun of some kind.
It's a gun.
It is a gun.
I've analyzed it.
Yeah.
It's very high energy.
I like all those words.
So we've got that.
Firing them will be barely a drain on the engine or core.
What if you were to fire them like a lot in quick succession?
It depends on what you're firing them at. But it would be roughly the same effect on the engine and core.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to try them out.
Meanwhile, Coyle is trying to think back if there's some sort of physics thing that is in fact true of most weapons, where it depends on what you're firing the matter. If there's like suddenly some sort of quantum contingency thing that's going on.
It's Greg.
Yeah.
Do we want to find out anything else about it before we make the engagement roll, and then after engagement roll, maybe we take a break and start the job? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. What else do you need before we start the engagement roll? And keep in mind, we can fill in a lot of the information, both with the engagement roll and once you're on the way. You don't have to know all the stuff.
How much were we getting paid?
Oh, this is an 8 cred job. I meant to mention that.
Oh,
A lot.
And
That's
so,
a
by the
good
way,
chunk.
this tells you something. This tells you whatever the deal is with this, they really do want it.
Yeah.
Gavesha, this implies it's not just the librarians that would like to get their hands on these books. Because you've been talking to librarians, and you don't think that their personal funds are quite at the level of paying you guys 8 cred.
Yes, I kind of gathered that was the royal we, as in the
Fair point.
pirate nation
Yeah.
at large.
Yeah.
The books they're kept locked up. They're not like on display or anything.
Oh, actually, you found pictures of them. They are on display just like in a museum, but they are behind a case.
Yeah, it's a.
So it's like no kidding, just one of those just rectangular. I don't know, probably plasteel or something like that.
Okay.
Something transparent, and they are on a gorgeous gilded book stand that rises. I guess it's about probably 5.5 feet up.
So it's like we're robbing the British Museum.
It's exactly like that.
I
Yeah.
would imagine they have
Actually,
some sort of security
Some stuff they
measures.
stole from someone else. and-
Actually, it's almost more like you're robbing Buckingham Palace
Gotcha.
because they live there. So people live there, but also some government happens.
Some artifact the Empire stole some time ago, and
Honestly, yeah, that's basically what it is. And now it's theirs. Damn it!
yeah, how dare us?
Look how proud we are of this thing we stole.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right.
Well, I feel like Mav would approve of this mission.
Somewhere, somehow, a single tear rolls down her cheek.
She's so
She just
bored.
feels it. That's it. I like it. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to know before engagement?
We can always flashback it.
Yeah, you certainly can. Yeah, and given the nature of this, I imagine more than a few of those are probably going to be zero stress flashbacks. So let me get over to engagement real quick, so I don't forget what I'm talking about. All right. Got it. Okay, so if you're good with this, let's ask the engagement questions, and then we'll figure out who's rolling. So, is this operation particularly bold or daring?
Sounds like it. We're stealing it from the governor's
Yeah.
son from the hegemony. Guy who runs the planet.
Okay, fair point. So, you start off with 1 die. The fact that it's bold or daring adds another die, so you're up to 2 dice. Is the operation overly complex or contingent on many factors?
Could be.
It could end up that way, certainly,
But
depending on...
But right now, it's not.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
right now, you're kind of talking smash and grab. So, if it does become particularly complicated, and it's going to have to get really complicated before you take away a die, we'll take away a die. But right now, I don't think it is. I think you're right. Does the plan expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? Actually, for that, you're going to have to come up with what your plan is. So we may want to go for that. Do we want to decide that and then do the roll?
Seems like
Yeah, I think we're going to have to. So let me remind you of what the options are. There is assault, which is do violence to a target. Deception, lure, trick, or manipulate. Infiltration, which is trespass unseen. Mystic, which is engage mystic way or power. Social, which is to negotiate, bargain, or persuade. And then transport, which is carry cargo or people through danger, which that has to be the main thing you're doing, which, you could use that as cover. That still fits. So assault, deception, infiltration, mystic, social, and transport are your choices. And then once you decide that, we figure out what the detail is, and then we make your we add the rest of the dice or subtract the dice to your roll.
I feel either deception or infiltration are going to be our best bet.
Okay.
I don't have any solid ideas.
Yeah, and you don't have to have a specifically solid idea, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like we were going to try to pose as tourists.
Yeah, kind of
Yep. So and that
Ocean's 11 type of thing.
Yeah. Honestly, that could fit with deception or infiltration. Either one works, whichever you prefer. That feels more like deception since you're pretending to be a thing you're not, as opposed to sneaking in without anyone noticing you. So yeah. So far, if you're doing that, we're on deception. Anyone else?
My basic thought in my head is to sneak in as tourists or whatever, and then stick around until things close down.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
That's the only idea I've got. So.
Okay. So again, yeah, that's deception. If you were literally just sneaking in, meaning like, breaking in through areas that no one's looking at, and keep in mind, you've got contacts and people that can help you and give you further information if you want to add that as part of your detail once you figure it out. So we're open to all of that. But right now, yeah, if you're going to be, hey, look, we're just tourists, in order to kind of case the joint, we're still on deception.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because we don't really have we do not have our talkie person with us today.
Yeah, alas, you don't. And
we actually have the person that would make smash and grab easier today, but at the same time, it's hard to know.
But on the plus side, if you do choose deception and things go south, at least you have the person that can help you get out.
That's true.
So you have the person that can help you punch your way out, if nothing else.
I mean, I do have 1 dot in people skills.
Same here.
And I shall stare at that dot covetously for the whole of the session.
Oh my gosh, I know. Man, Coil. Your mechanic is so stereotypical.
I am not good with people. I have issues with people.
Coil literally doesn't understand how people work.
No, not really. Keep trying to figure it out. Keep
Yeah,
reading
yeah,
the manual. It's not in there. So yeah, I mean, I'd be inclined toward either something like was infiltration or deception, or I mean, or the sneaking. I'd be good for.
Yeah.
I can see ways to do any of those.
And really, all you're deciding is your initial approach, because anything else is just going to be, like after that, technically you're infiltrating. So really, it's your initial approach, and we roll to see how well that worked. And if you find yourself in a really good or particularly bad situation, and then we go from there.
Although, yeah, I feel if this is one of those really big towns and there are a lot of people and it's tourists even and what have you, then probably deception is going to be the most obvious way for us to try to
and honestly, you're exactly right, because I mean, crowds are not unusual. They give tours. It is a lot like Buckingham Palace or the Vatican or whatever. You can take tours of those places. And the thing you're trying to steal is on display. They want to show it off.
Yeah, right.
Deception sounds like...
Okay.
Listen, it will not be hard for Gavesha to pretend. She doesn't even have to pretend to be excited to see the cool thing at the fancy
palace. That's a really good point. That you're right. And you already know some stuff about the books. So that's cool. That you're exactly right. Okay, good point. By the way, these books are very big. They are not impossible for any one of you to carry, but they are big. They're like Gutenberg Bible big, except like 150% bigger than that. So I mean, these are some big ass books.
Are these physical?
They are heavy. They are bound in some kind of extremely durable material, which is good. The pages have lasted for centuries on a particularly humid planet.
Okay, so these are like books. These are books with pages.
These are full-on books. Yeah, these are no shit books. These are as opposed to just things that are called books that are not. Yes, much like that, except so much bigger. And I bring this up because again, any of you could carry them. They're heavy, but not super heavy. But also, you're not going to hide them under your shirt. It's not like that. So once you've got them, anyone that sees you will notice that you're carrying some very big things. So FYI. But anyway, that's for the getting out part. We're talking about getting in right now. So right now, it looks to me, going back to the thing is deception. The thing you have to decide is the method of deception, and you've already got that. We're going to be tourists. Now, keep in mind, look over your contacts, look over people you know. Remember the fact that you are in a pirate haven, and more to the point, you're in a pirate haven of pirates that really want you to succeed at this. So if there is anything that you could think of when we get to the question about do you have people who can help you? If you think of anything right now that you think someone could help you, that's great. And if not, you can answer yes, and we can fill in later. Not a problem either. So chances are you're going to get a die for that. But if any of you have any contacts or anything in your history or whatever that you think might be relevant right now, it could add to your engagement roll, is really what it boils down to. So let's go back to the engagement roll. We did say that, so right now, as it stands, it does not expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest, because this thing is guarded, and it is in one of their strongholds. However, the next question is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations? The answer to that would be yes, if they didn't have it on display. Like if they had it in a safe or a vault or something like that, yeah, the answer would be yes. But right now, honestly, I think those two things kind of cancel each other out. So the next question, the one I was bringing up earlier, is can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? If the answer is yes, take plus 1d. And I will answer the next question for you. Are any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? The answer is no. You don't know of anybody else that is actively trying to keep you from getting to these books. And if you want to just make the answer to can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight, and just add the die for that, we can figure out what that means later. And it'll just be a no-stress flashback. But I don't want to, shut down any ideas you already have. So right now you have 2 dice. I would go ahead and add that 3rd die. And if you want to be specific about that between now and the time you actually do the job, cool. And if not, we'll figure out what that means later. If you're good with that.
All right.
The only idea that I have ahead of time is just the thought of someone who might be able to provide us with precise details about the books, not in terms of what's in them necessarily, even, but what they look like, what they're physically composed of.
Yes.
Or might be able to get us replicas.
Oh, there you go. Now that's different. But sure.
I mean, you're the engineer. Maybe you know the HVAC operator or something.
Yeah. So who do you? Does any of you have a contact on your list that you think would be able to provide those for you? Because if so, go ahead and call in that contact. If not,
I might be able to ask Hicks, my mystic goods.
He's a dealer in weird old stuff.
Weird old stuff guy.
That's not bad. Because, okay, yes, chances are he has things that are close enough to this that by the time you get to them, he could modify to look very much like that. And this isn't a drawback necessarily, but it is, if you ask him to do this, he's going to know, even if you don't give him details, he's going to know what he's making them look like, because he's the kind of person that would know about these things. So, be aware that that's true. Yeah. How much do you trust him? Now, as I recall, he is your positive contact, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, clearly you trust him. That's not, he's everyone has a price, but he's not going to just screw you over to screw you over. So if you want to go in with, if you want that to be the thing, if you want to go in with your replica, that's definitely worth an extra die. So yeah, I think
Makes
that counts.
sense to me.
Yeah, and we don't have to detail that. We can just say you went there first on your way to Mem, and then pick that up, and then.
I should also just apologize, because I think, as folks who have watched my various streams know by this point, my go-to move in any heist is find a thing that looks exactly like the thing you're going to steal. We don't have to do that.
I had the same thought. I mean,
it's a classic
leverage.
I'm not.
I think
you're not wrong,
I think I did that during the Scum and Villainy one shot that we did. Actually.
Oh, you know what? I think you did.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's been a viable plan for thieves for thousands of years.
It ain't bad. It ain't bad at all. And you're not having to improvise like that, like Indiana Jones did.
Yeah.
So, and that didn't even work. So yeah, honestly, I think that works fine. So it sounds like you're at 3 dice, and then we can fill in any other details later, obviously. So this is a fortune roll, so it is not skill dependent. So let me double check this one thing real quick, make sure I'm doing it right. Who wants to make the roll? Good. And whoever decides to make the roll, you do have a roll fortune button on your character sheet. So you would just do that, and when it asks for how many dice, you would just tell it 3. Which is pretty good for an engagement roll. Actually, it's quite good for an engagement roll. Now, I will point out, as the people over at Actual Play mention every time they play a Forged in the Dark game, there are no bad engagement rolls. There are just roles that provide more exciting opportunities than others, shall we say. So This does not indicate how the rest of the job goes. It just tells you where you start.
Well,
And if you happen to get a bad one, we figure out why that is and immediately figure out what you're doing to mitigate it
well,
or get out of it or just use that to roll with it. I've seen that happen too.
Since Gavesha's kind of going to be the face of this operation, I don't mind making the roll.
Okay, that makes sense.
3 dice.
Yep. Yeah, 3 dice. Okay, so that's partial. That's not bad. So you got a 4. Which means that you are in a risky position, but not.
That's per usual.
yeah, exactly. It's risky, but not bad. Which means that your initial goal was to appear to be tourists, which is in fact the case, but there is someone here that could recognize one of you. And you don't know that until you show up and see this person. Does anyone want to volunteer to be recognized, or do we want to? Oh my God! Is it going to be Buff? That's hilarious. That's great. Who should be here that would recognize Buff? Is it a friend? Is it an enemy? How do you want to work this?
I mean, I think it depends on what the what that role decided or what the situation's decided. If it's
well, the risk is that the person will recognize you. So right now, Buff knows that the person is here, but the person hasn't seen Buff, is what it boils down to. So, and I can decide if you want to, but if you have, but I also, whatever's more fun for you, if you want it to be a friend or an enemy, because I'm thinking back to that part in Ocean's 11. It was Ocean's 11 when Carl Reiner's character was pretending to be the foreign businessman, and then just some dude that he knows from the dog track was like like, I can't believe it's you, and just loudly proclaimed his real name until Reiner's character had his security goons cart the guy off. So, you know, it could be that, or it could honestly be someone that wants to kill Buff. You never know. So whatever you prefer, or like I said, between now and when we come back from break, I can let you know.
I think, all right, compromise here.
Sure.
It's his grandmother, but she does want to kill him.
Wow, nice. Okay. I like the combination.
You've got a rich inner life, Buff.
That tells us a lot about Buff, doesn't it? This is good. Buff's grandma, and Buff seems like the kind of person with a grandma that could kill someone. I like this. All right.
Her name is Snuff Tuffman.
Oh man. Okay. Hold on. I'm writing it down now. That's good. And we need to figure out why Snuff is here. I think I already know. I think I know why Snuff is here. Yeah. Okay. I got it. I know why Snuff is here. Okay. So we will take a quick break, and then when we return, we will begin the job with all of you dressed in whatever you think tourists wear to go see the government buildings, and with Buff recognizing his grandmother. So I guess take us out, Jim.
This is going to go so well.
Yeah, you're in. Yeah, nothing could go wrong.
Nothing could go wrong.
Golden,
possibly here. All right, so we're going to go to break now. Heavens help us. And we'll go to break 5-10 minutes or so, and then we shall return and watch the glory of what is about to happen unfold. We'll see you shortly.
Thanks.
We are back, and I presume stuff is going to happen.
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh, that's my job. So yes, stuff is happening. Speaking of stuff, we are you're in, as we mentioned before, on the planet Nem.
The ghost is back.
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, no, just happened.
Once again, I did not hear it.
Everybody else hear that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. That was fun.
What is going on?
Yeah. Well.
All right.
Yeah. So there's a potential fix for this. Do we want to just keep going like this right now, or because that was
if
like
it doesn't,
a one time
let's
back
do
then.
it until it happens again.
If it happens again, we'll do something.
Okay. Excellent. There's a backup
All right.
plan. Yeah. They heard it in the audience too.
Wow. Why am I the only one that doesn't hear the ghost?
I don't know, Brian. Why is it?
I mean, all truth, that indicates that it might be coming from you.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Is it somehow coming from my system, and I don't know what I'm doing that's happening. So that's both sucky and disturbing. All right. Well, anyway, we'll figure that out, I hope. So, moving on. There is a problem, as you have discovered, or more to the point, I think Buff's the only one that knows it right now. So Buff, your grandmother's here, and that can only mean one thing. Buff, your grandmother, her primary job is being the one of the advanced people for an assassin known as the Shrike, which means either she's just here being a tourist and checking out the cool stuff, or someone here is being marked for death. Well, I guess now that you're here, someone else is being marked for death as well as you.
We have a problem.
What's that, buddy?
My Nana's here.
I don't know what Nana is.
An assassin.
Ooh,
A Nan assassin.
Nan assassin. Well, that's not good. Where?
There. He points.
Okay. Twist an eye stalk to look behind me.
She looks like a
Is he
regular
behind
grandma.
the old lady?
No, I'm pretty sure he means the old lady.
She's got like a flowery muumuu on, and
Heck of a disguise.
he just goes, "She's the most ruthless killer I've ever met."
Really?
Yep.
She's clearly casing the joint, memorizing the exits, taking note of every single person in the room.
Buff stoops down a little bit so that he's a little bit shorter.
So he's only taller than everyone. Not.
Well,
Except
he's
for
not
Quirk.
taller than
Quirk's 7 foot tall.
He's actually not taller than Quirk.
He's behind Quirk.
Yeah, he's behind Quirk. Perfect.
Quirk probably weighs half.
He's wider. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like you described Quirk as spindly at one point, so
Yes.
it's probably like the picture of that
He's
bear
like a
trying to hide
meatball on
behind
two
a telephone pole.
stilts. He's
Yes. I love that idea of hiding behind Quirk.
yes.
You
and
just see like a mile of shoulder on either side.
like that baby elephant hiding behind a telephone pole.
Quirk's currently
one.
like wearing his like Hawaiian shirt and all that to hide in as a tourist. Like
Of course. Look at me. Yep, that's it. That's the one.
Oh my gosh.
Love it.
I'm gonna try to post that up in our graphics thing in a second. I've got to.
It's
We
in
need to
it's
do
in
that.
the it's in
Yeah,
the
I got the
Discord.
file.
Thank
I
you.
got the file.
We
Yeah.
need that to happen.
Yes.
I love the Hawaiian shirt.
He's done his research. He knows what tourists look like.
Hello,
Excellent.
I am a tourist. How do you do, fellow tourists?
Wow, look at that snap! Look at that snap!
That's right. All right, so she hasn't noticed you yet. Or for the rest of you, she hasn't noticed Buff yet.
Oh.
But she's clearly, I mean, now that you're watching her, you know the type. She's casing the joint. Except she doesn't seem to be casing the joint in order to steal stuff. You know what that looks like.
Mm-hmm. She's
But
looking for someone.
She's definitely casing the joint to help plan a job. Yeah.
We need a distraction.
I mean, Buff Tuffman can be a distraction. If
No,
you
that's
want
exactly what we don't need. Buff.
some attention.
What?
Nice little family reunion.
I'm just going to be looking around quickly to try to see what kind of area we are in, and if there is perhaps a thing that I can, if the aforementioned grandmother is in an area that has some piece of equipment that I can cause to malfunction, then that might prove a distraction of some kind.
Well, she has a pacemaker. Does that count?
It's just sort of moving that. What, you want me to? I can't do that to an old lady.
I think Coil here has a very different family dynamic than yours.
So to answer your question, sure, there's the pacemaker. But on top of that, this is a place literally full of security systems. So there are alarms and things to trigger alarms all over the place. There is fire suppression. There would be do me a favor, and this is going to require some kind of a roll, because that's the obvious stuff. But if you want to see anything else, let's see. What's that going to be? Let's look at your options here. Feels like, okay, one of two things. You've got things that could hack into the security system in a fairly non-invasive manner if you do it right, that would tell you what else is here. Or you could just go old school and make it a study roll. However you want to frame that. Because honestly, it's the same number of dice. And either way, it's going to be like risky standard. Because, you know, if you hack it wrong, you could get noticed hacking. If you study, if you're obviously looking around at all of the stuff that shoots people, then someone might notice you doing that, because they have human, well, not just human, they have biological guards here too. Oh, for that matter, they have a few. They have a few Urbots as well that are on security patrol. But there are Memish here as well as humans doing guard duty.
I have a better chance of doing the rig roll.
Well, yeah, but how would explain? And I'm open to suggestions, but how would you make that a rig roll?
To basically go into their system and look around for things.
You'd have to physically do that, which is not impossible. Because otherwise, you could hack into it and kind of have it open to you on a screen. And I'm not talking you out of the physically doing it. It just comes with its own pile of risk. So, sure, you could do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. It's just basically all,
Like,
all I'm really
a
looking.
rig roll means you're like actually busting into a panel or something, which you could do.
Yeah. Well,
if you make the roll right, that just means you do it surreptitiously. So
I
sure.
mean, it's either that or I just sort of. Okay, I see what you're saying. Just sort of looking around. I mean, I have one die in study. I have one level of
and
study.
Similarly,
and
I think you have one in hack, right?
I have one in hack. That's true.
Yeah. So either of those is one die. The other one.
I do have a fine hacking rig, but I'm confused by the name of it because it includes two different things.
It does.
Two different skills in the name of it.
It does. However, the fine hacking rig... Oh, interestingly enough, the fine hacking rig, it won't add a die to your roll, but it could basically... it would basically do what's called giving you potence on the roll. So what that would do is it would act as like a higher level than you currently are, meaning that you could get more information out of it, and you would be at less of a disadvantage because you're going up against House Malclaith with just you, if you see what I mean. So it won't add a die. You can add a die with all the usual stuff. By the way, because you're starting a new job, everyone's back to 2 gambits. So yeah.
All right.
That is remains an option for whatever it is you're trying to do.
Yeah. So this basically would just be, it would just need to be setting off some kind of and I mean, even if it's just like sprinklers or something like that, it doesn't have to be part of the security system.
Right, and in that case, that would be a rig roll if you're just trying to set off. If you're not trying to get information, you're just trying to set a thing off that you can see. That's a rig roll.
I don't think we have time for me to get information right now necessarily.
Okay.
This is more like before she sees Buff, we need to like make this work. So yeah, this would be much more of a thing that could happen based on a thing malfunctioning.
Got it. In that case, we're still on risky standard. I think you start with 3 dice, which is pretty good. The risk is that someone realizes you did it.
Yeah.
Is what it boils down to. If you succeed completely, you do it and no one knows it was you. If you get a partial success, I'm just going to start a clock. And I'm going to start a clock, which is are you discovered as something other than tourists? If you get a partial success, I'll just start a clock, probably like a 6-segment clock, and I'm going to knock I'll knock a segment off that clock. If you utterly fail the roll, then someone just sees you do it. You're like holding the lighter up to the up to the sprinkler or whatever.
Okay. I'm wondering about this would basically be just a thing where it's like I'm just going to go in and try to just like casually head over to a nearby vent or any kind, even just sort of, or just somewhere where there's like a thermostat or something, just somewhere, or just some part of the computer system where I can just kind of like
sure.
tap on my pad and try to get in, tap on the hacking rig, get in, and try to just basically say, hey, that temperature is too high.
Yeah, you can make that with a rig roll. That's not a problem. And as a reminder, you can push yourself, which means spend 2 stress and get a die, or take a devil's bargain, which we could discuss if you want to do it that way. Also get you could do one or the other of those for an extra die. Someone can assist you if they take 1 stress, or you can spend a gambit. So you can do any of those if you want to add dice to this in some manner.
I'm thinking about going ahead and pushing myself for this, just so that we can.
I've got an idea on how to help. Which would be Quirk stepping away from Buff, but just like pointing at a thing and just like squawking loudly in his native tortured bird-like language. Just looking all excited and like I just got off the bus from
Yeah.
Madrach Prime.
Nice.
Fair enough. Okay. So yeah, spend distress and make your squawking noises. And so right now, if you push yourself and you do that, that's 5 dice on your roll.
Yeah. So yeah, that seems sufficiently decent. I don't think we're in the. I feel like we're in we're in a good enough spot that or an early enough spot that
Yeah.
that it's early yet. Of course, if everything goes to hell at first, then that
I'm
could
with you
still
on
be a
that.
problem.
All right.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that if
Okay.
if we're good. So 5 dice sounds reasonable. Haha. So I'm going to press this
It is a lot of dice.
This is risky standard, you said?
Risky standard, and then if you're using rig, you'll add
bonus dice?
2 bonus dice, right?
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, that's a 6.
Yes.
So that means you completely do it. So sprinklers go off. Also, some sort of alarm. What? And now the question is, what do all of you do with this?
Buff Tuffman looks very surprised that all of this has just happened.
Oh my gosh, a fire.
Let's bustle tough. Bustle buff. Bustle buff. Oh my god. Let's take buff quickly, scoot him out of the room in the opposite direction of his Nana.
Okay. Which is good. And because you got a success, you do get to decide this. Did you want just the sprinklers to go off in the room that Nana's in, or in more than one place? And actually, I'm asking this the wrong way. Clearly, you wanted them to go off so she'd be distracted by that so you could get away from her. But since you got a success, where do you want to end up? And do you want the sprinklers to be going off in that room? That's really the question. One of the options is the room with the books in it.
The books were in a casing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just clarifying that before we turn the sprinklers
Yeah, good
on.
call. They are not getting wet.
Yeah.
So
Might be a problem.
I will point out most of the stuff here is protected from water because it's on an ocean planet. And they are prepared for this building to go under the waves just in case. You can see what they really want to protect, by the way. Some of this stuff isn't protected as well.
Priceless
Servants'
antiques
quarters.
just getting ruined by the water.
Yeah, also servants' quarters.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Sorry, my brain was taken up for a moment by the fact that I was trying to do this. So that folks may now see the glory of that which is Quirk as a tourist.
Much appreciated. I like tourist Quirk.
Yes.
I'm a fan.
But
Torcus.
yeah. What do we want? What do we want to do?
I mean, if we can use the distraction to hustle into the room where the book's kept, I think that'd be the way to go.
Go
Might
for
as
it.
well.
All right. So you find yourself in there. I'm assuming you do not have the sprinklers on in here, but you can if you want. For the record, though, it is fresh water. It's
Good.
because it's part of a sprinkler system. It's disgusting fresh water, but it's fresh water. The people over in the room with the sprinkler, or any room or rooms with the sprinklers on it, are either running out of it or running towards the thing that turns off the sprinklers. You've lost sight of Nana.
Kind of like to arrange it so that it would appear at least to that there's having them in various rooms so that the closer escape to a room without the sprinklers on would not be this room.
Yeah, you can make that
That
work.
makes sense. Yeah,
That's fine.
So that
Yeah.
way, they're less likely to run this way.
Good call. No, you're good. Yeah. So it would run. Yeah, you're trying to push people away, and that's fine. You can do that with a 6. You can do that. So, all right. So now you find yourselves in the room with the books. It is a pretty impressive case. Let's see. Coil, you're the first one to figure out what it's made of. And it is a transparent material that is very difficult to break or scratch. It's think of it as transparent steel.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a way to open it, right? They put it in.
Yeah.
They probably want to get it out at some point.
Yeah, there should be.
Gavesha, you can see the books, but you cannot detect the books.
Oh.
You do not sense the books other than just looking at them.
Should I be able to sense the books?
Yep.
Okay.
Something's blocking some of your senses.
Is there any kind of sense about this Magisteel or whatever it is?
Yes. You sense that it's not the material itself, but something that has been done to the material.
Okay. So, you know how you put things in lead-lined cases that you don't want to be detected?
Yeah.
Oh boy, do I.
Okay, maybe not. But anyway, however this case is built, they have treated this crystal so that it's resistant to mystical detection.
Yes.
That's unusual, huh?
Yeah. Haven't run into this very often.
The case itself might be worth something.
Fair point.
Yeah.
All of the other mystic stuff we've chased down over my career, this is the first time.
Does this substance naturally have this property, or would there have to be something?
No. Yeah. Because right, Brian, you said I get the sense that it was treated somehow.
Yeah.
It's done to it.
Not inherent to the material.
It's been enhanced.
Okay. No, I mean this is just like Iotrium doesn't have the ability to do this normally. So
what do you think, Coil? Think we'd like put some wheels on this whole case and just roll it out of here?
Oh.
I can pick it up.
Oh, I bet
you're pretty sure you could. Yeah.
Gonna set something off, but we could.
That would be a bit
Coil, you're also
conspicuous.
pretty sure that's true. You think these things are simultaneously true?
Okay. I'm just before I insert myself into this whole thing again. Do we want to try something tricky, or do we want to? If you want to try something tricky, I will think of a thing. But if not, I will step back and watch the hilarity unfurl.
Well, disabling the alarms would be a good idea, which that seems like your bailiwick.
Yeah. Let me see if so I'll be like, okay. Before we pick it up, let me just see if I can turn off the alarm real quick.
And I will remind you about flashbacks. And by you, I mean everyone, but specifically right now, Coil. If you wish to have done something, any of you,
I wish
to
we'd
have
done
made
something.
this easier.
Yes, I do actually.
Mm-hmm.
I flash back to when I set up. I rented a cargo lift hover truck.
Oh gosh. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Is that
This-
me?
I am the hover truck.
Not quite. Disguised hover truck with like fake signs on it for plumbing
Sure.
repair,
Yeah.
which I left parked near a service entrance,
Mm-hmm.
so we can bustle this whole thing
Okay.
into that and get the heck out of here.
Okay. That happens. That's just
Getting
gonna be
from here to there is going to be the hard part, but
understood. But that's one stress. That all makes sense. But
Okay.
it took some work, so we'll call it one stress.
very good. Gotta hurry up. The hover truck's got to be back by 12.
Oh, crap.
We don't want to incur extra fees.
Did not drop the money for the insurance either. That's how
Yeah.
they get you.
And on an entirely saltwater planet, you actually did get the undercoating. So,
Well, that's just common sense.
yeah.
So I'm thinking
So
about.
it sounds like you have an escape vehicle, anyway.
Yeah.
So that's good. And like I said, if you wish to try to disable the alarms now, cool. If you wanted to have attempted to do something earlier, also cool. I'm just letting you know that this game makes no distinction between actions you take now and actions you took in the past. So,
Their time does not exist.
yeah, honestly, yeah.
I
That
had
whole
the
the whole leverage gambit.
yeah.
It actually is, yeah.
I had thoughts about a thing that sets up like that if we have the frequency of whatever the is holding this in place or keeping that understands that a certain amount of pressure or whatever is needs to be contained within the thing. Let's assume for a second, maybe even if it's hovering there, that there's there's a chance of having obtained either a device or readings or something that will allow us to set up a counter harmonic to
Gotcha.
to trick the pedestal into thinking that the book is still there long enough for us to move the one out and put the
Okay.
other of the exact same mass in.
Yeah, because as established before, you have your replica. So yes, that all makes sense to me. I think that works. So you're going to try to just not set off the alarms rather than having disabled them. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think that might be what
Yeah, you're kind of doing a bigger version of the Indiana Jones trick, except
Yeah,
you hope this one
basically,
works.
yeah, the Indiana
Okay.
Jones trick is sort of what came to mind.
Yeah, except you hope you judged yours better than he did.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I could go ahead and
So-
try to disable the alarm. That'd be,
Well, again, like
Anyway.
your call, but I do like that idea.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, playing to your strengths, that's going to be a rig roll. So if you want to do that, because it is manipulating things physically and mechanically, which is really all rig is.
Yeah.
Same stuff applies if you want to push yourself, if you want a devil's bargain, if you want someone to help you with that. Someone assisting, there's all kinds of ways they could assist you. Like keeping the pressure on it while you remove the thing and put the other one on. That's just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But other ways
I mean,
too.
even just picking the case, the casing up. Well,
If only you had a really strong person.
if only we had a really strong,
Yeah.
things
Oh,
like
wait.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, any of those.
Okay, there
so,
it was.
Okay,
There's a
I
very
didn't
brief
do anything.
bark that happened almost there. Sorry.
All right.
I don't know if anyone else heard that.
I didn't hear it.
Oh,
I did not hear it.
Maybe it was just me this time.
okay.
I don't know. All right. Anyway, sorry.
It's coming towards you, Jim.
It is.
Yeah.
It's found where it needs to go.
I better hurry up with this roll then.
I know.
Yeah, they're hearing it in the audience, so there's something coming for us, just so everyone's aware.
Got a ring situation going on here.
I know, and because I can't hear it, I'm the last one. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Or actually, it turns out it was me the whole time. Wahaha.
Do we want to try to just get through this thing, or do we want to, or do we need to do the trick? do we want to switch our sound right now, or do we want to just keep going?
I'm okay with keeping going, but
if I'm the only one who heard it,
At this time of night, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot. Okay.
Let's see if we can get through this. Okay.
All right.
So
So it's another rig roll. Does anyone want to help? Do you want to do anything else that gives you extra dice?
Find myself here. Yeah, I can do. Let's see. Do I want to pick up more stress, or shall I do a devil's bargain here?
If you ask for a devil's bargain, I'll have to come up with something. And keep in mind, if you ask for a devil's bargain, the devil's bargain happens no matter what, whether you succeed or not. It just gives you the extra die.
Let's go ahead and just do stress for right now, since I have enough room for stress.
Yeah, you did clear a bunch recently, so that's true.
I'll go ahead and add stress to myself to get another die.
And I will point out, maxing out your stress and getting a trauma, despite the fact that it has the word trauma in it, is not as bad as it sounds.
If you don't want to give yourself the extra stress, Gavesha has a dot in rig and could assist.
I mean, I'm going to go ahead and do the stress anyway, but if you'd like to assist, I'm always welcoming more dice if you would like to.
Sure.
Gavesha also has kinetics.
That's true.
This is true. I can hold stuff even if I can't reach it.
All right, so do you want to do it that way? You're going to push yourself, and we've got an assist from Gavesha, so we're back to 5 dice like we were on the last roll.
Yeah.
And if you spend a gambit, you can knock it up to 6.
I think now is the time to spend a gambit for me.
Not a bad plan. Yeah, this is a bunch of stuff that could go wrong.
Okay.
All right, so now you have 6 dice.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be rig. We're back to risky. Oh, I'll mark the gambit off the ship sheet. It's on the ship.
Oh, okay.
So
crap. I'm sorry.
We're back to risky. This is going to be risky standard again. It's not desperate by any means. But so risky standard plus 3 dice.
Okay.
And I'll remember to knock that gambit off once we see what the roll is.
Spend a gambit on a rig roll to repair or upgrade. That's neither of those things.
Alas,
okay.
alas, you were you were kind of doing the opposite. So
dang it. Okay.
You're not exactly breaking it, but you're not repairing.
Okay. So if we're good with it, I'll go ahead and go with 6 dice.
All right. 6 dice is your maximum, actually, so go for it.
All right. And this is risky standard?
Risky standard.
Whiskey sour. Okay. No.
I know, right?
Here we go. Yeah.
Okay, that's a success. And interestingly enough, it was that final die. It was the gambit that got you the full success. So excellent use of your gambit. Nice work. Okay, so you marked off the 2 stress already, I'm assuming. I will get over to the ship sheet and mark off your gambit before I forget. And now you and like Coil, you can lead the discussion about this, but everyone tell me what this looks like. Because just because Gavesha was the one doing the assist doesn't mean everyone wasn't in some manner involved in this. So what does this look like? And like at the end of it, you will end up having replaced the books and be in possession of the books. That is your end point, but what does it look like between now and then?
Are we grabbing the whole case or just the books?
I think we're just lifting the case long enough to get the books and putting the case back.
Because the way-proof case seemed like it might also be of some value, was my thought.
I think we should take the case.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, it's been treated. Yeah, that's true. It's got a thing. Did we bother to get a replica of the case? I think that's.
You did not get a replica of the case. I will tell you that now.
Piling tables and chairs on top of the pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Clad.
I mean, you could try to flash back to that, but first off, that's going to be a lot of stress, and then on top of that, you're going to have to explain to me how you snuck in here with that. Like I can imagine you
That's fair.
sneaking in with like a box or a cooler or something that that you hid the book replica in. But
I'm just wondering why we even bother to put a replica there if they get
No, we weren't expecting the magical case.
yeah.
I like this idea. I like the idea that somehow it looks like you just stole the case.
Yeah, no, that'd be funny. And because if it's only the book that's
until they give it the barest minimum of investigation, and then they realize what's actually
if
happening.
it's like only the book that's alarmed, then we can go ahead and just take the case.
Yeah. Actually, I think you're right.
So Gavesha is like helping lift up with the way. So if she's got some kind of connection or like knows the right amount of mass that we need to balance this,
yeah,
Quirk will just start like piling like chairs, trash cans, whatever else around here. Just like tell me when this is heavy enough. Okay, wait, one ashtray off. Okay, half a chair.
Right. That'll work. So right now you've got the books just surrounded with a bunch of crap, and for some reason you are escaping with the case, and I can't not imagine Buff being the one carrying this enormous case.
So the case, the case with the books inside, right?
Still with the books inside. Fair enough.
Yes. And then like on where the case was,
weirdest robbery they've ever had.
Where the case was standing is now a pile of detritus and the replica.
That is very, very weird and in keeping. Nice work. Okay. So now all that remains is making it from here to your truck. So that's going to be, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, that's going to be a group roll because everyone has to do this. Group rolls have advantages and disadvantages. The primary advantage is you only one person has to roll a 6 for it to be a complete success. So what you do is you pick one person to lead the roll. It doesn't matter who does it. It doesn't have to be the person with the highest score in the thing. But one person does the leading, and for every person, including the leader, that rolls a 3 or less, the leader takes 1 stress. So the disadvantage is the person leading it could end up with a whole lot of stress. Or in this case, maximum 4, because everyone could roll below a 4. But the advantage is only one person has to roll a 6, and everyone gets out. You just have to describe to me as the leader how it is that you're doing the leading and getting people out. And the obvious ideas for the obvious skills would be scramble or skulk. I am open to other options.
We're carrying a giant case. This feels like a scramble.
It kind of does, doesn't it? But I'm just letting you know. Skulk's an option. You could try to make that. I would even hear arguments for scrap if you wanted to just kind of punch your way out. But all of you would have to be doing the punching. Everyone has to engage in the same action. All of you are capable of punching. I'm not saying that. But anyway, yeah, it does seem like a scramble. I can punch
really hard now.
Oh crap, you really can. So the question is, who wants to lead it? What does that look like? And which one are you choosing?
Quirk is go on, please.
Buff could lead, if anything, just because me taking a bunch of stress isn't gonna affect things in the long run. But
that's
him
a fair
leading,
point, and I'm guessing you have 0.
Yeah, and Buff the character has 0 stress. The player, on the other hand, my character sheet looks a little different.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
But I feel like him leading would literally just be him going like, could you get the door?
Fair enough. And I think he's the only one that can move at speed while carrying something this heavy anyway.
Yeah, he's a human battering ram at this point.
Totally. Yeah, anything in your way just gets knocked over. All right, so that means everyone make a scramble roll.
I can get the door even if I have to push it off its hinges.
Oh, that's true. You can get the door from behind him. That's actually, you're right. You can do that. So yeah, I think that's what it looks like. I think we have the gist of it.
We're doing our juggernaut conga line at this point.
Totally. And it's not a straight line from here to your truck, but you have a path. You figured out the shortest route.
Right.
You did that already, obviously. So
Yes, I got like my little data pad. And I'm like, left here, right here.
yeah, good call.
With
yeah,
the map up.
That's how Quirk's contributing. That makes sense. Okay.
What's the position on this?
I think I'm locking doors behind us. If we have,
we're back to risky standard because this isn't desperate yet. Believe it or not, this is not a desperate roll.
We're all just straight rolling scramble.
Yeah, just straight scramble. I mean, this is an action roll, which means it's open for everyone to do the things that give you more dice. So you are not restricted to just whatever your scramble is. You can add dice to it. And I will remind you, if you have 0 in scramble, you click on scramble and it makes the scramble roll, but you will choose the lower of the 2 dice that it rolls.
I have potency and speed related rolls.
Holy crap, that's good. Okay, so let me remember what potency is. That's right, the pilot gets to do cool things. This is the first time we've used the potency, so I'm going to take a moment and remember how that works. Let's see. One moment. While I'm doing that, everyone else can decide what they're doing, because it's taking me a minute to find it. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay. Here it is. Okay. So this factor considers particular weaknesses taking extra time, bigger risk. Okay. Oh, got it. Okay. So this is one of the factors that we consider as far as the effect level. Oh, interesting. So what that means is you could actually, because you're involved and everyone and you're helping, you could actually bump this up to, you can bump it up one of 2 ways. You could either affect the scale or the effect. Potency scale on it. Okay, so you could actually interestingly enough, I'm gonna you can decide which way you want to do this. You can either add a die because of that to your roll, or you can make it risky great instead of risky standard.
I'm going to add a die.
Okay. Fair point.
That'll
All right.
save me some stress.
That's a good call. All right.
So I just noticed my starting ability, which I did not fully read.
Okay.
Oh, it's a 6. Nice. You can push yourself to do one of the following: perform a feat of physical force that verges on the superhuman, engage a small gang on equal footing in close combat. So, would this be considered a physical feat?
I think this is a superhuman physical feat, because this thing is stupid heavy. It's not impossible. It's not impossible for someone as strong as you to pick up. It is unlikely that someone could run with it, though. So yeah, this, from an outside observer, you look amazing. So yeah, this you get to do the superhuman thing.
Okay, so when it says push myself, does that mean I add a stress to add a dice?
In this case, it'll be 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So pushing yourself is always 2 stress.
Okay.
So right now the good news is that because Quirk rolled a 6, you are not everyone. You will succeed at this. Okay. Everyone will succeed. And because you have pushed yourself to do the superhuman thing, you can describe yourself doing things that, like, however you want. And depending on your role, you can also color it that way, if you see what I mean. It is, but this is not this. Like, you're strong enough where you could do that thing where you're struggling, but you make it look like you're not struggling. In this case, you're literally not even struggling. It's like you're carrying, like, maybe a couple of phone books. And that includes the case.
All right.
Oh, come on. Now, the good news is that you still succeed, but you take 1 extra stress because someone, this time you, rolled under a 3, rolled 3 or less, and I'm just gonna say that you break a lot of stuff on the way out. Like literally anything between you and the truck gets a hole knocked in it, or it gets knocked over, or people, maybe a couple of guys tried to stop you. You didn't even notice they were there.
Every time Buff breaks something too, he does fully stop to turn and look at what he's done.
Every time.
I'm trying to play him like a deeper version of Baymax at this point.
Oh my gosh, I like it. I like it a lot. Very good. Okay.
Love
I also
him.
think it's hilarious that you're the one that got the low roll so far. But because of the superhuman thing, and because all of you succeed, it just means that there is a literal wake of destruction. Okay, so they won't have any trouble finding out where you went. Let's see, who wants to roll next?
I'll go ahead and roll.
All right.
I figure just.
And what does it look like while Coil is sprinting for the truck?
So it's like sprinting along, sort of kind of behind Buff, except Buff keeps stopping, so it's just like, oh, crap. And is basically using the key in that he got to the to some of the system to basically close emergency doors behind us.
Okay.
So that safety doors, what have you, that kind of deal.
Gotcha.
So it's so again, it's just basically the oh god, we have to block off the fire.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah, depending on your roll, we'll see how that pays off.
Yeah. And it's just,
if
so
you
it's
get a
trying
particularly
to
good roll, that means you've helped with that.
Yeah.
Although I have a feeling that Buff may have already broken some of the mechanisms you're trying to close.
some of the there's only so much success, but otherwise just trying to basically get
one of the doors closes, but it's leaning
Yeah.
like at a 45-degree angle in the
just trying
frame
to
now.
throw as much crap behind us as possible to
Nice. Yeah.
keep people
Well, actually,
from
Buff's
being able
helping
to
with that
pursue.
part. Yeah. Okay, good.
So,
All right. In that case, make a scramble roll to
I
see how
have
that pays off.
I have a single level of scramble, so we'll see.
Okay, so it'll be a die.
This is again risky standard. Okay,
Risky standard.
risky standard.
Okay, but it's a partial success, which is exactly what we described.
Yeah.
You closed some of those doors. That's fine. Okay, which leaves us our mystic. What does it look like while you're getting out of here?
Well, I think I was prepared to shove some doors open, but it doesn't look like Buff needs any help with that.
There's just a buff-shaped outline in every wall.
So
Yes, exactly.
I think I am just, I'm making sure none of the debris falls on any of the other
I like
party
it.
members.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Maybe catching a few people, and if I need to use kinetics to make myself go faster,
You might also be doing
I
that.
might
That
do
works.
that.
Okay, let's see how well that works.
All right. Should I go ahead and add a stress to use kinetics to give myself a bonus die?
That's a good question. Yeah, actually, you can. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. And
Okay.
it's 6. Okay, so first off, thanks to Quirk and Gavesha, you get out of here. And thanks to Buff, you got out of here with the stuff. But also thanks to Buff, they know exactly where you went. So fair enough. But now you and the books and the case are on this truck, and you are in any part of the truck that you feel like you should be in. I'm gonna just go out on a limb here and assume Quirk's driving.
Seems right.
Yeah. So what's the plan now, guys?
To the ship.
So
Hey, Greg, we're coming in hot.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask, is the ship underwater or not underwater? But it doesn't matter because you can tell Greg to meet you wherever you want. So that's fine.
Spencer, start the engines.
Yeah. You got it. Spencer tells Greg to start the engine, and it's a little chain. Yeah. Yeah. However, unsurprisingly, you get about 100 yards away from the building, and you are being pursued. You are being pursued by boats. Unsurprisingly, it's a water planet, and two. They aren't hovercrafts because they're higher than that. Two actual, just ships, kind of small pursuit ships that are. Now the boats are. The boats are not significantly faster than your hover truck. They are possibly slower. The ships, on the other hand, are a lot faster than your truck. But they are less maneuverable and a lot. Right now, mostly working as spotters rather than anything that is a direct threat.
Well, it's a good thing that I filled this up previously with extra doses of Go Very Fastium.
Yes, it is. And we're going to call that a zero stress flashback. This is a perfect example of just something you would have done. So yeah, you souped it up.
Reach under the seat, twist the knob to the.
That's it. I figure you and Coyle worked together for about 15 minutes and got this thing souped up.
Buckle up.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. All right. So that's going to be a helm roll for sure. From from Quirk. Anyone else doing anything while Quirk is getting the hell to your ship? You don't have to, but if you come up with any ideas, throw them out. And while you're doing that, let's look at the. We will once again go through the. You can push yourself. Take distress. Devil's bargain.
I've got potency on the speed-related rolls already from
right.
Ace Pilot. I'm going to use Leap on the Wind to push myself to get +1 to effect and 1 extra die.
Nice. Okay.
That's 3 stress.
Okay, so in this case, the potency is going to nullify the fact that you are being pursued by a vastly superior force. A, they outnumber you. B, they're from House Malclaith, which is a significantly higher tier than you are. But that's gonna basically not get you to their level, but get you to the point where their quality advantage isn't a big deal at this point.
I'm in a rental truck, so yeah.
Exactly. Oh, and C, you're in a rental truck. However, C.1, you did actually soup up the rental truck. So there's that. Okay, so the potency is going to give you the ability to do the rest of this stuff. And hold on. So really, what are we looking at? It's risky standard. And what does it allow you to do again?
Potency. I can do 1 plus because I'm spending 3 stress for Leaf on the Wind. I've got +1 effect, +1, as well as +1 die.
Wow. Okay, so that gives you risky great. Because effect is going to be the thing. So yeah, you get the extra die. You can also bump up your effect with it. Nice. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and then the potency on top of everything else. All right.
Yeah, and like I said, the potency allows you to make this attempt because otherwise, yeah, it is. It's the end of every single Smokey and the Bandit movie. Where all the cops are chasing them. It's that one. You are being pursued by many, many boats. So you get to make
2 guys carrying a big pane of glass across the street.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly it. Jackie Chan, for some reason, has an ornate cake.
In the middle.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. So you're doing this. You got the potency. That's working for you. Yeah, it'll be risky. Great. So if you succeed at this, it is going to be spectacular, and you can describe some cool stuff. All right. So right now you've spent 3 stress in order to get the extra die. Where are you at? 4 dice? Am I right?
4 dice currently, yes.
Okay. And if anyone wants to assist you, that'll bump it up to 5. So you've pushed yourself, which means you cannot take a Devil's Bargain, but you may spend a gambit. You have one gambit left if you wish to spend that.
Seems like a good time to take it. Or
it ain't a bad idea. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Oh, holy crap. I'm sorry. You have 2 gambits because you're back up to 2 gambits. 3. You guys have been making a lot of 6s on... You guys have a lot of gambits. I forgot to count that. Sorry about that. Every time you make you roll a 6 on a risky roll, you get a gambit. Which means actually this is not your last gambit. I'll go back and do the math. But right now you have not used your last gambit.
I'm a spending one.
Yeah. So just know this, and then I'll get the math, and I won't stop everything. But I just realized I forgot to do the gambits. So this is good news for you. All right. So what are we up to? Is anyone assisting him? And
I'm at 5 dice currently.
You're at 5 dice.
I can, if there are any, like, buoys and stuff, I can start throwing things in the way of the cop cars.
yeah, you're, this is good. Okay, fine. Yeah, you're just throwing random ocean crap at the boats. Okay, good. Okay, so now you're up to 6 dice, which is your max. So, make that roll.
Are you serious?
Are you serious? Okay.
Wow.
Except, here's the good news. Believe it or not, there is good news.
Okay.
First off, a 3 is a partial success. So you have not completely bombed out. The fact that you're in this case, the fact that you bumped your effect up to great, however, means that the consequences that you experience are the least they could possibly be. Mm-hmm. So what this means is you make it to the ship, but just barely. Which, in my opinion,
a lot of collateral damage in the wake.
Oh, so much collateral damage. And,
drove through the funeral procession, got crates of chickens just flying everywhere.
My damages!
Right. I think we all need to come together to describe this. And the reason I'm saying this is because getting to the ship is basically your end point. We will probably have a roll to make sure you get out of the system safely, but that's not going to be as big a deal. So this is the big thing, which means you get to the ship. The goal was get to the ship with all of the people and the books. Everything else is up for grabs. Everything else is part of your destructible environment here. So what I want to know is, what state is the rental truck in? The case does not survive, but I want to know what happens to it.
Still finding pieces.
And are any of you injured? And if the answer is yes, none of you are going to be injured. You will all be cosmetically injured if anyone is injured, if you see what I mean. So you may suffer harm if you wish to do it that way. But yeah, I'm not going to make it an official harm, if you see what I mean. But some or all of you may be somewhat bedraggled upon returning. So I just kind of want to know, and I think Josh gets to lead this because this was your role. So tell me, and everyone else, feel free to add details.
Well, the engine of the hover truck is on fire.
Okay.
We've got Craig's fire suppression systems.
First off, it's on fire.
It's on fire.
And in your cargo hold. Yeah. So, like you said, Greg's fire suppression systems go off, which means
we just kind of slide, crash.
Which means some or all of you are immediately covered in fire suppression foam. So.
I'll go ahead and volunteer that I think part of the reason why the engine is on fire is because I've been standing, sort of desperately crawling in there and overclocking it to get us.
Yes,
get us there on time.
You've been spraying whatever like Mad Max. You've been spraying stuff into the air intake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I figured it was like having this wrench, I'm just turning a bolt beyond where it's supposed to go, so I've stripped the thing.
More torque! More torque!
Yes.
Ah!
I think that at some point, one of the pursuers got a little bit too close, and Buff, not one for thinking on his feet, used the case to smash over
Nice.
the approaching head.
Oh, and that was remarkably effective.
And is now...
You traded the case for freedom. So yes, that
and
There's
possibly
some,
life.
that all checks
There's
out.
some house psychic on there who's like, I can't move it.
Oh, that's even better. Yes. Wait, I'll get it off you. Oh crap! No, I won't.
Oh no! It's resistant to my way power.
Oh, I love that idea. It's just on a boat. It's just sitting on a boat, which is very slowly sinking into the. Yeah. After all this, we cut back to that one boat still sinking. Just... Oh my. All right, that's good. Gavesha, how do you end up with at the end of all of this?
Gavesha has been throwing around a lot of kinetics, and she just learned how to do that very recently. So I don't know that she's injured per se, as just tired from using so much
Gotcha.
force.
Just extraordinarily mentally strained. Got it. Okay.
Yes. And what I think that looks like is the cosmetic magic that she wears all the time has been dropped.
Oh.
So instead of, this human woman with a very expensive looking like ombre dye job, and you see a mermaid girl. She's
Wow.
she's actually amphibious.
Whoa, I like it. Okay. But not Nemish, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Like amphibious, but from a different planet, even from this one. Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And probably only Coyle knows this about her.
I like that a lot. Okay, good. In fact, when that happens, you hear two voices speaking in unison. The true form awakens. You think it was the books.
Oh boy.
Hi, friends.
Hey.
Buff Tuffman thinks that we've picked up a hitchhiker, and he extends a hand and says, Buff Tuffman.
Nice. So I'm
Something new about
assuming
humans every time. That's crazy.
so I'm assuming a less than fresh looking Quirk is in the pilot seat by now. Yeah, let's go ahead and make a helm roll. Just to see what the deal is between here and the gate. Because let me double check exactly what's going on, because you need to get this back to the Maelstrom.
Yeah.
And actually, do you need to go to a gate? I need to double check. Hang on, let me double check. You're in the Holt system. Yeah, you still have to get back to the Rin system. So yeah, the good news is it's only one gate. It's the Holt Rin gate is a thing, which means you only have to get to the Holt gate and get through.
Okay.
So do we want to make that a helm roll? Actually, we can make that any kind of a roll depending on who's doing it. But it feels like a helm roll just because you're literally trying to escape on a ship. So again, everything else applies. You can add all the stuff you want. Clearly, you get potency on this one. This is exactly the sort of thing you get potency on.
What's the position?
The position, again, is just going to be risky standard. So let me look again at... I need to check one thing on Greg's sheet just to make sure I'm remembering this right.
I'm going to spend that last gambit unless anyone...
Actually, you still have two gambits. I just did the math. So you still have a gambit. You have two gambits to spend.
Can you spend more than one?
No, you can't. But if for some reason you need the last one, you can.
Okay.
I'm just as a bookkeeping matter more than anything else.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay. The ship doesn't have. Actually, the ship now has particle cannons. If for some reason that comes into play, but if you have to use those to get out, that's a whole new problem. Yeah,
Try me, Patrol.
Well, I mean, we'll see. Like, if this roll goes bad, you may have to make a different roll for getting out.
We'll get those warmed up.
Yeah, fair point. I'm just looking at the other stuff. Okay, cool. I was just seeing what else is here. However, anything 4 or higher, you get out, and the consequences may not be immediate. I'll let you know what they are, but they may not be. Anything from here. It might just be something knows you have the book that you didn't know before, something like that. So
counting on that.
Yeah. It might just be that. Okay, so let's see. What is that? 4 dice because of the gambit?
Currently at 4, yes.
Okay. Anyone want to help? Does anyone have enough stress that you can do it?
I have stress to spare. I just don't know.
Okay, let's see.
What could do.
I'm trying to. Oh, well, let me think about that. Yeah, what's Buff good at other than picking up stuff? Is that it, or do we have some other options? Let's see.
Well, he's really a fan of opera, but no one bothered to ask, so you know.
Thank you very much.
Rich hidden life of Buff.
He can point at a lever and say, "Have you tried that?"
Actually,
Buff, get out and push.
I mean,
no, Buff, that's a joke. Get back here.
Lower the weight on board.
Oh my god. Let me see what else we got. Huh. You know what? I mean, this might be a little out there, but you can push yourself to perform a feat of physical force that verges on the superhuman. You could do something that that somehow helps. I'm trying to think. And if not, if we don't come up with anything, it's fine. I'm just throwing it out there.
Throw a bucket of fuel into the reactor.
Actually, that's kind of cool. All right, I like that.
Buff will crush this fuel into dark matter.
So basically, yeah. You know what? I dig that. Go for it. Yeah, push yourself and do that because you're like, and it makes sense. You'd be the one that can do it because you can withstand the heat.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
That had another die then.
That's one more die. And let's see. You haven't pushed yourself, so you could take a devil's bargain if you want to add yet another die to it.
Not bad.
All right, fair point. All right, in that case, so what are we at?
I'm at 5 currently.
That's pretty good. And now,
didn't do great last time.
I will remind you,
feeling
6
lucky
was
this
great.
time.
Yeah. Sometimes the dice are just jerks. So,
all right, let's try this
see
again.
how it goes.
That's significantly better.
Okay, that's a crit, which means you get everything you want. Explain to me what that is. What is everything everyone wants out of getting out of here, and because it's a crit, I'm going to continue that on into returning to the Maelstrom. So tell me how this trip goes and why is it awesome?
So the gate's there, and there's patrols here, and like the patrols just kind of fly past each other.
Yep.
We zoom right between.
Oh, I love it. Good.
Between radar blinks.
Yes.
And like the comms commander in one of the ships is like, that must be a glitch. Just like,
oh, nice.
We'll take. Doesn't even see us.
You flew through both radar shadows. Good. Okay.
Right through the gate.
I like it. And that means that
just a leisurely stroll back to the Maelstrom.
Oh yeah, a leisurely stroll through one of the worst space storms ever. You're just like, do. I did this once already. I know what I'm doing. That's awfully nice that you've given me those beacons. I know what I'm doing.
You do it once, it's like riding a bike.
That is outstanding. Okay. Well, in that case, you have completed another job, which means let's and guess what? I'm not going to forget this time. I'm not going to forget XP.
Crazy.
So but that will come at the end of the session because we have to do some other stuff first. We have to get you paid. As I mentioned before, it is 8 cred. The ship does not require any repairs somehow. Your upkeep cost is still just 1. Which means if you spend the 1 on upkeep, you have 7 cred to figure out how to distribute. The ship can handle 4 at any time, and then each of you, I think similarly, can have 4 before we have to figure out how to do stash. We can figure out the distribution on that in a moment. Let me get back over here to the thing. Okay, so that's 8 cred, and yeah, you were very well paid for that job. Okay, now let's flip over to what is the next one? Sorry, I can't make this work. There we go. Oh, we need to figure out heat. Oh, we need to figure out heat.
Yeah.
Okay. So this time, I think the answers to these questions are going to be a little different. If everyone could look over at Roll20, I've got the heat card pulled up.
Okay.
Which of those on the left-hand side do we believe that fits? It definitely was not smooth and quiet. Nor was it contained.
High profile or well-connected target and public use of artifacts.
Probably 4.
Yeah, that'll be next. We may end up adding some heat, but we'll figure that one out in a minute. The good news is this is in the Holt system where your heat is currently 0.
Yeah.
So,
it was pretty chaotic.
I don't think it was quite 6, but 4 is.
4 seems right.
I agree with
Yeah.
you. I think your base heat is 4. You're
We didn't
exactly
blow up the building or
right.
anything.
No, that's true. It wasn't wild, but it was loud and chaotic.
Right.
Okay, that's a good point. And you were personally spotted. It's not like you were disguised on your way out. Okay. You did not kill any hegemonic citizens. It wasn't massive property damage. You actually didn't use any illegal weapons, despite the fact that you possess some. I'm feeling like that was +1 heat because it was a high-profile target.
Yeah.
Very well connected. They know it was you, so I'm thinking 5 heat. Does everyone feel that?
Sounds right.
Makes
Yeah.
I think that makes the most sense. All right, let me go ahead and bump up your heat in the MEM system. The Holt system. Did I do that right? Nope, that's 3. I'll get it in a minute. Let's see. 4, 5. Yep, there we go. Okay, so to recap, your heat in the Breck system is 2. Your heat in the Rin system, where you have currently fled, is 4. And your heat in the Holt system is 5. If you reach 8 heat in any system, that converts into 1 wanted tick. Wanted is a whole other thing. If you get to that, we'll talk about what that makes you. But right now, your heat is high, which makes some rolls later different. But again, we'll get into that later. I'm not going to roll entanglements now. Let's just go ahead and go to XP. I'll let you know what happens with entanglements between now and next session. So, XP. Crew XP is going to be fascinating on this one. You guys did a lot of your crew stuff. But before we do that, let's talk about individual XP. Anyone want to go first? And if so, speak up, because I'm not looking at Zoom right now. Sorry about that.
Would XP go on buff?
Okay, that is an excellent question, and the answer is the XP goes on. You can transfer XP between characters, but you have to decide which character it goes on when you get it.
Okay.
So if you want it to just go back to Mav, because the way I'm seeing this, Mav will be available for the next job. which the way this is going is probably going to be the final job in this campaign, which is good because I want Mav back for that job. So if you want to, you can take, like, obviously you're using all of these questions are for Buff, but you can take all of those and give them to Mav.
Okay.
But you may only, all of them go to one or all of them go to the other. Okay. But it does make sense since I have a feeling you're playing Mav next time. Because like I said, the way I'm seeing this, you have a final job left. And during the downtime that we begin next session with, things are happening because of this job that you'll need to know about. But we're slightly past time, so we're not going to do any of that this time. We'll start next time with it. Okay. And also I'll throw some stuff out between sessions. So do you want to do your muscle questions?
Yeah, I think it'll be easy. I think I only get 1 XP from this.
Let me see.
Or maybe 2, because I didn't roll any desperate actions.
True.
I did address a tough challenge with force.
You did that more than once.
Okay, so I could say 2 for that.
That's 2 for that.
Then I didn't express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
Are you saying your grandmother is not part of your background?
I just read that out loud and it sounded in my head. So yeah, I did.
I think your grandmother would be hurt by that, which you would be into. So that's good.
So 3, and then I did not struggle with issues from my vice or trauma.
Definitely not. So it's 3, and you can transfer those to Mav. You're exactly right. Okay.
Done.
Nice. Okay. Who wants to go next? Anyone?
I'll go.
All right. So we're back to Quirk. What are your feelings on Quirks?
So didn't roll in desperate actions.
Yeah, nothing desperate came up. Weirdly, one of them was nearly desperate, but because of Quirk's abilities, you kind of kept them at risky, is what it boils down to.
I definitely just a couple things with speed.
Yeah, that's definitely 2. If I could give you more than 2, I would. But yeah, that's 2 for that one.
And I expressed my heritage at least once with the wild bird noises.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you totally did. So that's I don't feel that there was any struggling with vice or traumas this time, right?
Nope, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, unlike last time. So I think that's 3 for Quirk.
That's a level for me.
Nice. So between now and next time, decide what you're getting. And Gavesha, Coil, who's next?
I can go.
All right.
I didn't realize I needed to play it.
Oh no!
I had to didn't grab my Rochambeau hand. I'll go.
Go for it.
So let's see. I don't think I did any desperate actions.
True. Yeah, we didn't have any desperate rolls this time.
You addressed a tough challenge with technical skill or ingenuity. I feel as though that happened like a couple of times.
That happened multiple times. So yeah, that's 2 at least.
Okay.
And I will say definitely 1 point for the next one. I'll go ahead and throw that out. Maybe more than 1. But I know that, again... actually... For this session, it was more than 1. Because during the job you did, but also during the discussion about the resolution of the dark matter thing, it was specifically about your background. Trying to discover... whether the plant, whether such a place existed. So yeah, I feel like that's 4.
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah.
Wait, so expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background, and so that's.
Yeah, I think that's 2 for the first one and 2 for the second one.
Okay.
And then
you struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session. I don't think I struggled with.
Not this time. No, I don't think there was any struggle. Yeah, so I feel like that's 4.
Yeah.
All right. Which leaves us with our mystic.
Okay. Well, I always address challenges with.
It's kind of your thing. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I do.
And you definitely did a bunch of those. So yeah.
And I expressed my drives and background in a very serious conversation with my friend Ben.
Actually, you totally did. You're right. Yeah.
And also, my heritage was revealed.
Oh my gosh, good point. Okay, so that's multiple times on that. You're exactly right.
So
your capital H heritage
that'll
was
fill
revealed.
up my bar.
Dang. Okay. So those of you that filled it up, remember that you filled it up, and between now and next time, let me know what you get. And that is it. So we just need to do the crew XP.
Do we just want to split up the 8 creds to each and worry about the upkeep next session?
That sounds okay to me. How do you?
Okay, so that gives you 1 skip on an upkeep if that's how you want to do it. Which
No,
is
well,
fine.
I mean, worry about it like.
Or do you?
Actually, we got money. Why don't we just spend the money and that's in the vault for that?
Yeah, you've got 2 cred currently in the ship. Do you want to knock one of those off?
Let's just use
And
one of those
use
for now,
that.
yeah.
Use that for your upkeep, and then everybody gets 2. Is that how you want to do it?
Yeah.
That's
All right, no problem. Okay,
I
so
only
upkeep
have
is clear.
like 1 box left for cred before we have to do stash.
I need to remember how that works. I've got to look it up. So you could do this, and you could, for right now, if you want to, you could give one of those creds back to the ship, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And
makes
then,
sense.
okay, let's just do it that way. So the ship's back to 2 cred. You're full of cred, and then everybody else, if it doesn't push you past 4, everyone has whatever cred you used to have plus 2. Okay. Now let's get over here. Did you execute a successful transport or smuggling operation? Yup. I mean, it was successful.
We got the thing.
You did exactly what you were asked to do. So that's 1 point for that for sure. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? Again, multiple times. So we're up to 3 XP on that one. I'll go ahead and just answer that. Let's have some discussion about this next one, though. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one?
I feel like leaving that pile of crap in there. Yeah.
That was extraordinarily weird. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, so we're up to this like 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we? I feel like that was one instance of it, though, right? Yeah, that was really the one weird thing. And then the final one is: did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? At least once. What do you think about? I feel like multiple times on that one too. I think you're coming into the next one with another advance. All right, so that's nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy crap! You got a lot. You guys get a lot of XP. All right, so that's 1, 2. You're going to come into the next one. Okay, let's remember that you get an advance, and you're going to start the next one with 3 XP. Is what it boils down to. Okay.
Yes.
All right, that is XP. We're going to start downtime next time. We're going to do it. We'll do all the usual downtime stuff. But I'm also some of the things, because it's getting late. I'm not going to go into it right now. But there will be some things that happen because of this job, and some things that happen during this job that I'll detail next time. So we'll start with that. We'll do downtime. We'll figure out what else is going on. You can welcome Mav back to the ship, and she can tell you, or she probably doesn't want to tell you the stories about what's been happening. I don't know. But
we'll have some stories to tell her.
Yeah, you will, honestly. So there will also be people at the Cove that will want to talk to you specifically. So we'll do that during sort of a free play time, which means the next time is going to be a lot of downtime with the possibility of beginning the job. And then we will make preparations for that being the final job. And then we'll figure out from there how many sessions it looks like it's taking. But right now, I feel like maybe we have 2 sessions left. I feel like we have what's going to be mostly a downtime session next time. And then the finale session will probably follow that. Unless for some reason the job takes longer, in which case we could tack one more on it if everyone's cool with that. But right now, you guys have been remarkably efficient on your jobs, so that may not happen. So... So that's everything I got. And as always, thanks for playing. And yeah, that was fun. And one of my favorite things is being surprised as a game master, and this session was nothing but being surprised. So thank you. That was awesome.
Yay! Nice. That was very cool. So yeah, this was a lot of fun for me tonight. This was I really enjoyed that one. That was really good. But we're gonna go ahead and go around and do our outros then. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you. Feel free to plug whatever you like, and any final thoughts you have about this session, favorite moments, or what have you. And we will start once again, as always, with our GM Brian.
Thanks a lot for those of you who stuck around for the game, or maybe you're just joining us. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the chat. Chat was hilarious. And my favorite part of this was the revelation of Buff's grandma. That was outstanding. And I like how that set everything in motion, even though she didn't return this time. But I don't know. I think she's too good not to bring back for something later. So, but yeah, I'm Brian Cooksey. I'm edit RPGs a lot. If you need an RPG edited, check me out. Otherwise, you can mostly find me here playing and running games. And if you're in chat, you can spot what Jim just put up about me. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, I am Vaklam on all the things, VAKLAM. And I had a lot of fun. Thanks a lot.
Yay! And now we will head over to Josh.
I'm Josh Burnett again. Yeah, I'm gonna miss Buff. It'd be sad to see him go. Also, anytime I get to participate in a madcap car chase, or the closest approximation in any setting, I'm a happy guy. So this was very fun. But yeah, I'm Bernie the Flump on all the things. BernieTheFlump.com. I'll link you to stuff I write, stuff I sell, stuff I draw, stuff I lay out. Yeah.
Excellent.
Look at it.
Excellent. And now we shall head over to Brittany.
Hi, bye. I'm Brittany. You can find me on Twitter at ThatDamnDruid, on Twitch at ThatDangDruid because censorship, and on TikTok. Hi, I'm Brittany. You can find me on Twitter at ThatDamnDruid. You can find me on Twitch at ThatDangDruid, and you can find me on TikTok as Hobbit Garden. I think my favorite moment from today was the Gavacia and Coil conversation. I thought that was awesome. But I too will miss Buff. my sweet baby boy.
Nice. Very cool. And we'll go over to Alyssa.
Hey everybody, my name is Alyssa. I am your friendly neighborhood teller of tall tales, and you can find me on Twitter at Shawl Tales. And all my links to my crafty stuff that I make. I have some plotting to do behind the scenes before you will see me running any more games, but hopefully there's some coming soon. And I had a lot of fun tonight. It's always exciting to play with Gavesha's magic, and also I loved meeting Buff and Grandma Snuff, and I loved seeing Quirk and hearing his unpronounceable bird-like wailing.
Yes, it was so good.
and kind of I'm very happy that I got to help Coil figure out some stuff, and It's always fun having the dramatic role play. So, and then I always kind of had it in the back of my mind with having borrowed this character from the one shot and made her an NPC in Dark Matter and fleshing out her background a little bit. I was like just keeping an eye out for an opportunity to let that
Nice.
bombshell drop. So so that was fun.
Good reveal. I liked it.
Excellent. No, that was so cool. I do have to say, no, I loved that seeing that reveal from Ganesha. That was excellent, and I did love that conversation. I also really I did heartily enjoy just the whole just Quirk getting the hover truck and just getting that set up and using it to get us out. That was so good also, but I think
Drive it like you rented it.
Yeah, definitely. I will say, I think, though, my favorite moment probably was Buff just basically juggernauting his way through the whole thing, smashing through doors and obstacles and basically everything as we were trying to run. Just the run to that run to the hover truck was just glorious, and I enjoyed every bit of it. Anyway, as for me, who am I? I am Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. So let's see. Theoretically, on Friday, I'll be over on Wandering DM, finishing up my guest spot over there. I think they weren't able to do it last week due to Simon actually getting his second shot, so that was very cool. But hopefully we'll be picking that up again this week. So I'm on their Cyberpunk Red show, just guesting as a media manipulator. And so that's been fun. On Saturday nights here, we have our Invisible Sun game, The Edge of Paradox, which they're trying to figure out some stuff in a small town, basically, a semi-small town. And getting closer to the truth. So I guess I'm going to, I've sort of mentioned this offhandedly, but I guess this is more the official announcement that this coming Tuesday is when our Urban Shadows campaign, Lex Talionis, returns. So we're going to finally see the conclusion to that as that starts up. It's we have a few sessions left, but we're going to come back into essentially a second season of urban fantasy in Rome, Italy, and see sort of the final chapter of that story. And so very eager to get back to that. And then, of course, back around to Wednesdays when we have more of this. So always very pleased to dive in. This was an excellent session. It was great. I loved it. When we head out, we are going to send a raid over to, let's see, I think we're going to send a raid over to Valdranth, who is doing another Forged in the Dark system. They are using it for Animorphs. It's possible we've raided them before, I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.